We would like to observe a moment of silence to honor all of our troops that are fighting for our country overseas and around the world, defending our freedom. We also want to extend a special thank you to the following all-star players who have enlisted with the military and will report for training shortly after the conclusion of this game. Todd Anderson, Rudyard, number 44 on the East, Marines. Aaron Diepenhorst, Rudyard, number 54 on the East, Marines. David Koskela, Lake Linden, number 82 on the West, Army. Jeff Sartori, Forest Park, number 33 on the West, Army. And Josh Moran, Hancock, number 9 on the West, Air Force. Thank you all for your service to our country. We would also like to recognize Kyle Schmidt from McBain, Michigan, who stopped by practice this week to watch the All-Stars. His football career was cut short by a tragic car accident that took all of his high school classmates' lives in the car, except Kyle. Kyle, your courage is amazing, and you truly are an all-star today and every day. Kyle Schmidt from McBain. And now please join Elizabeth Dugan of Marquette for the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red hot, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the brave and the home of the brave?
Elizabeth Coogan.
Yes, I can, Scott.
Number 1, Number 2 from St. Anne's, Kyle Slot. Number 4 from Tennessee, Guard Hayes. Number 7 from Tennessee, Josh Nicholson. Number 8 from Gladstone, Kyle Jensen. Number 9 from Nagani, Chad Cram. Number 11 from Sault Ste. Marie, Tyler Wolin. Number 12 from Ishpeming, Brad Waters. Number 15 from Sault Ste. Marie, Garrett Horde. Number 17 from Marquette, Dan Nancy. Number 18 from Park River Harris, Tyler Hansen. Number 20 from Nagani, Dave Brucey. Number 21 from Manistee, Justin Demars.
You know that one.
Number 22 from Cedarville, C.J. Becker. Number 24 from Pickford, Mikhail Cannon. Number 25 from Nagani, Dylan Menard. Number 26 from Vegas, Rob Robinson. Number 27 from Glasgow, Anderson. Number 28 from Vegas, Tyler Oya. Number 30 from Ishmael, James Galt.
They were given to us during the
Number 33 from Cedarville, Luke Murray. Number 34 from Westwood, James Delangelo. Number 41 from Menominee, Jordan Macco. Number 44 from Rogers, Todd Anderson. Number 45 from Rapid River, Travis Floyd. Number 49 from Menominee, Zach Underoff. Number 50 from Sault Ste. Marie, Chad Anderson. Number 53 from Cedarville, Jordan.
You notice as the numbers get higher, the slower they are.
Number 54 from Rutgers, Aaron Diefenhorst. Number 55 from St. Anne's, Hanlon. Number 56 from Nagani, Mike McBride. Number 58 from Sault Ste. Marie, Taylor Bisnoff. Number 66 from Rapid River, Earl Lancor. Number 71 from Rapid River, Justin Plimpton. Number 72 from Ishpeming, John Chanella. Number 74 from Cedarville, Andrew Figures. Number 75 from Gladstone, Josh Hadel. Number 76 from Cedarville, Josh Wilson. Number 77 from Manistee, Terry Martin. Number 78 from Ishpeming, Matt Waters. Number 80 from Engadine, Killian Frisch. And the number 84 from Menominee, Justin Salzman. The East head coach is Paul Jacobson from Nagani. Also coaching the East Stars are Kevin Jacobson from Nagani, Marty Spencer from St. Ignace, Todd Kangas from Anastique, Chris Marana from Anastique, Ed Marietti from Anastique. These are your East Upper Peninsula Football All-Stars and their coaches. And now join us in welcoming the West All-Star players and their coaches. Number 2 from West Iron County, Jeff Auclair. Number 4 from North Dickinson, Lane Holdsworth. Number 5 from Forest Park, Bob Reed. Number 7 from Ewan-Trout Creek, Colin Alsco. Number 8 from Iron Mountain, Corey Runsat. Number 9 from Hancock, Josh Ferren. Number 11 from Baraga, Tyler McGaha. Number 12 from Iron Mountain, Pat Flood. Number 14 from Noggin, Ryan Moreau. Number 15 from Lake Linden, Logan Chatty. Number 16 from North Central, Tyler Verrigan. Number 18 from Lance, Alex Tarvinen. Number 19 from Kingsford, Ryan Kleisner. Number 20 from Iron Mountain, Mario Franchini. Number 21 from Wakefield, Dallas Solbert. Number 22 from Calumet, Brad Anderson. Number 24 from Noggin, Kyle Pollard. Number 25 from Hancock, Reese Anderson. Number 26 from North Central, Anthony Blahnik. Number 28 from Ewan-Trout Creek, Shane Johnson. Number 30 from Lance, Dan Perot. Number 33 from Forest Park, Jeff Sartori. Number 36 from West Iron County, Zach Colbus. Number 40 from Iron Mountain, Mitch Pender. Number 42 from Kingsford, Nelson Winky. Number 43 from Norway, Jake Menegini. Number 44 from Iron Mountain, Bruce Romagnoli. Number 51 from Baraga, Michael Nemi. Number 52 from Kingsford, Cole Welch. Number 54 from Forest Park, Jim Wheeler. Number 55 from Forest Park, Marcus Smithson. Number 58 from Iron Mountain, Adam Kent. Number 63 from Lake Linden, Ryan Gerbick. Number 64 from Iron Mountain, Nick Harris. Number 65 from North Central, Charles Mesachek. Number 71 from Stevenson, Alex Pearson. Number 72 from Calumet, Jake Bjorn. Number 73 from Lake Linden, James Doobie. Number 75 from Forest Park, Ed Zarn. Number 76 from Ironwood, Mitch Kieber. Number 77 from West Iron County, Scott Kajada. Number 80 from Forest Park, John Jacobson. Number 82 from Lake Linden, David Koskala. Number 83 from Houghton, Gabe Kalungi. And number 84 from Iron Mountain, Tim Obradovich. The West head coach is Scott Body from Iron Mountain. Also coaching the West All-Stars are Joe Redinger from North Dickinson. Andy Crouch from Lake Linden Hubble. Don Sawaski from Houghton. John Crows from Calumet. And George Twardzik from Calumet. The athletic trainers for today's game are John Youngworth for the West, Matt Jack for the East team. Trainers are provided by Dickinson County Healthcare System. These are your East and West Upper Peninsula Football All-Stars and their coaches.
The UP Football All-Star Game is brought to you by Northern Michigan Bank.
Upper Michigan's best and brightest athletes, East versus West, in the Dome, Saturday, June 20th. The UP Football All-Star Game, brought to you by Northern Michigan Bank, XL Sports, and TV6.
Good afternoon and welcome to the UP Football All-Star Game, brought to you by TV6, XL Sports, and Platinum sponsor Northern Michigan Bank. We're at the Superior Dome. I'm Mike Ludlam along with Mark Evans, getting ready for the second All-Star Game we've had in more than 50 years. And Mark, as I looked at the rosters earlier this week, I thought the East might be able to run the ball. They certainly have what I thought to be the bigger linemen. The question is, will the West have enough speed?
Well, that's always going to be the question, is what are people going to do in an all-star game? When it boils right down to it, you know, each coaching staff is going to bring their own philosophy in here and, like you said, use who they've got and try and use them to their advantage. Running game in an all-star game for football is generally the way that most coaches will try and go. It's a little easier to kind of fit those sort of plays into the book here. You only got a week with these kids to work with. You're not going to see a whole lot of finesse, especially early. But again, you're right. You're probably going to see a lot of running and a lot of utilization of that size. And like you said, you take a look down the roster here, and there's some big guys out there.
We will be back for the opening kickoff after this. Welcome back to the Superior Dome. As you see, the East will be in the white jerseys this year. The West is wearing red. Back deep for the kickoff, number 21.
Rob Robinson, number 26.
Is Dustin Demers of
and number 44 from Rudyard, Todd Anderson.
Looks like number 26, Rob Robinson of St. Ignace.
West,
your kicker
number 8
for the West
Iron
is
Mountain,
number 8,
Corey
Iron Mountain's
Runsat.
Corey Runsat.
Will kick off.
And we're just about ready to go.
Always fun. We had a great time with this one last year, Mike. I think there was a lot of people that took a wait-and-see attitude, to see how this was going to go. Last year was just a smashing success. A beautiful day, a Father's Day weekend, but good turnout here once again, and it's going to be a lot of fun here this afternoon.
As Mr. Runsat is given the ball by the officials, we'll tell you who the officials are. They are John Gravier, John Kane, Tim Marchak, Dale Clefman, and Jeff Rule. And all officials have donated their salaries today to the Bay Cliff Health Camp. Corey is waiting for a whistle. He gets one, and we are underway. And then everybody says, I got it, no, you take it. So Demers runs it out from the goal line to 5, and oh boy, he is done right there. And if I can, that would be Bruce Romanoli of Iron Mountain on the tackle. He will definitely be one of the more spirited players out here today, Mark.
And what you see right there is just, that was a pure energy play. The smart play, let that thing go into the end zone, bring it out to the 20-yard line. But you're going to see a lot of high-energy plays. And, okay, I'm 2 yards deep, but I'm going to come out with this thing. And it sets them a little deep here, but, we'll see how this goes here offensively. It's going to be very interesting to see how these teams gelled during this week that they've been working on this.
Romanoli, an all-state wrestler, finished second in the state in Division 4 in the finals this year, the runner-up. Now as the break, let's see who we have at quarterback, and they're going to run the spread early. And number 8 is Kyle Jensen of Gladstone, and he gives the ball off. And a quick tackle by the West squad after a couple yards. That was number 2, Kyle Smock of St. Ignace, and a special story about Kyle. Kyle did not play football or basketball this year. He had an ACL injury. They made a special exemption to have him in the game. He was an all-conference player a year ago in the Straits Area Conference, so nice to see him get the ball right away.
Well, and that's what this is all about, too. I mean, you're here to compete, you're here to win, but it's also really in celebration of these kids and what they've done, not just their senior year, but, in the case like that, all 4 years of high school.
Luke Murray of Cedarville on the near side, just out of our screen. Jensen keeps the ball this time, and he is brought down near the 15-yard line. 84, Justin Salzman of wrong roster. Tim Obradovich. There we go. Tim Obradovich at Iron Mountain on one of the players in on the tackle.
Well, he had a teammate on there too from Iron Mountain in 51 there. Bruce Romanelli also in on that play. So you're going to see a lot of swarming tackling. You're going to see a lot of hats heading for the football quickly here in the first part of this ball game.
As I look across, Zach Kolbus of West Iron County, number 36, the defensive end on the far side. Nick Harris, 64, also in the defensive line, along with 58, Adam Kent of Iron Mountain. Third down, 5 yards to go on the 15. Jensen with the ball, cuts up the middle. He has a first down over the 20-yard line, down around the 23. In on the tackle, number 30, Dan Perro of Lantz, will continue his career at Michigan Tech.
And as we talked about early, Mike, you're going to see a lot of basic football. You're going to see a lot of option looks on this early where the quarterback's going to try and find that hole, maybe get a little bit comfortable in the ball game. Then you'll see starting to pitch to the tailback, but you're going to see a lot of very basic football plays and a very good play by Jensen that time. He had the opening, he took it, and a first down.
This time, Jensen over center. Hands off the 34. That is Jake Delangelo of Westwood. He'll pick up a couple yards. Out just over the 25-yard line, and they'll mark it right near the 26, so it'll be second down and about 7.5 or 8 yards, depending on how you measure such things.
And Delangelo's a kid here, Mike, as you well know, that put up some pretty good numbers offensively running the football in a very tough conference to run the football, playing in the mid-pen.
So we look at some of the other defensive players. Number 42 in red is Nelson Winkie of Kingsford. He'll continue at Michigan Tech. 75 is Ed Zarn of Forest Park. Again, over center. Jansen hands off to the fullback, and he's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. That is 26. Robinson of St. Ignace on the carry there. So it'll be third down, about 7-8 yards to go.
And Nick Harris from Iron Mountain grabbed him and threw him down pretty quickly too. So a good bit of penetration there defensively for the West squad. You know, and it's been kind of all or nothing here. You've seen some great defensive plays, but then the East will pop off for a good 5-6 yards. And again, that's what we talked about at the outset of this thing. You're going to see a lot of that type of football here this afternoon.
Identify some of the other defensive players. Shane Johnson, 28 of Uintrail Creek, is a cornerback at the bottom of the screen. This time, Jensen probably throwing out of the spread formation. No, a little option play here. A little tough on the pitch, and down he goes. 15, the ball carrier. That was Derek Ford of Sault Ste. Marie. A little bit of miscommunication on the pitch.
It was a late toss, but I'll tell you, you got to give a lot of credit to the West defense. They had that sniffed out pretty well, and I think it was obvious by the body language that Jensen was going to toss that football.
Yes.
And the backer on the outside able to snip that one out pretty good. A little bit of a loss on the play, actually, and we'll get our first exchange.
Dan Menzie of Marquette, the punter for the East. Not much of a rush, of course, being an all-star game, and ouch, off the side of his foot. Screams of poison being heard, and this one will go out of bounds at the 43-yard line of the East.
And that's too bad, but we mentioned that earlier. A kicking game last year was really instrumental in a lot of the scoring, and that one, as you said, Menzie was just getting off bombs during warm-ups. Shanked that one off the side of his foot, and it sets up the West in great field position now, 43-yard line on the other side of the field.
Pat Flood of Iron Mountain will be the quarterback for the West. 77 is the center, Scott Cuddia of West Iron County. And Flood takes the ball, hands off, and down he goes immediately. 72 for the white, John Chanella of Ishpeming. Jake Mangini of Norway had nowhere to go. So it'll be 2nd and 12 for the West. Try to identify some more players here in the backfield. Looks like number 2, Jeff O'Clair of West Iron County, is the fullback, and Jake Mangini of Norway is the tailback. Rolling is Flood. He has a receiver downfield, but he overthrows him, and that is number 11, Tyler Magaha of Baraga.
Yeah, and that's a tough throw, especially early in a game like this. You've only been back playing football for a week to try and get that throw accurately while you're on the run. you hear about it a lot, but it's very true. Try it in the backyard sometime. Just be well, maybe you and I'd be at a very, very light jog here, Mike. But to hit a target while you're on the run is very difficult, especially for a kid who's been out of sync and out of football for the last several months.
Okay, Magaha spread out closer to our sideline. 16 is spread out wide. That's Tyler Varegan of North Central. 3rd and 12 on the East 45. Flood back the pass, and we have a whistle. And I think somebody leaned forward early. I'm guessing 5 yards for illegal procedure.
And I was thinking on the way over here too, Mike. You remember last year's game? I think we only had one penalty during the course of the time.
Yes,
very few penalties, and you really have to credit the coaching staffs last year for that. And this year, I'm fully expecting it to be the same way with the coaching staff. We know Paul Jacobson from Negaunee very well, you and I, and that's one thing that both these coaching staffs, Scott Body from Iron Mountain, they preach discipline. And I know they've been doing that here, and you're not going to see a lot of that, I think, today.
So we'll try again at 3rd and 17 from midfield. And Flood is back to pass, screen, yes, I would say screen. And Menegini gets the screen pass with blockers in front of him. He will gain the better part of 10 yards. Amongst the tacklers, look like, actually, Mark, you tell me who made the tackle, because I thought it was a 43 and I was wrong.
I was actually marveling more at the way that they'd set that up, but when you got 17 yards to go on a screenplay, that's difficult to do. It's set up pretty well by the West, but they opted for the short side of the field, which it can make that difficult. And if I'm not mistaken, in on the tackle there for the East was Tyler Wolin from Sault Ste. Marie. I think number 11 got in there from his corner position and was the one that finally brought him down.
It must be an all-star game. We're going for it on 4th and 7.
Come on, why
from
not?
The 40. Flood in the spread. He's going to cut it up, and he will be stopped. 66 and 30 among those in on the play. Earl Lancourt of Rapid River is 66. Jake Dalt of Ishpeming, number 30. And the East will take over on its own 37-yard line.
Well, maybe an all-star game, Mike, but it's all about momentum. Football's that way, whether you're playing in the Super Bowl or you're playing in the Dome here in an all-star game. And it was a good call. I like that from the West team. You're trying to get something positive going. You're in good field position. You do turn it over on downs. Let's see what the East can do with this one here. They had some success moving the ball early with Jensen running the show on offense, and it looks like they brought in Kangas now.
Yes.
To run the offense here out of Manistee.
Yes. No, Josh Mickelson. Josh Mickelson, number 7,
okay,
is the quarterback, and he's going to hand off immediately and absolutely get nowhere as I try and find numbers through all kinds of things. 65 in the red is Charles Marsachek of North Central. He disrupted that play.
I think it was Ryan Moreau from Ontonagon whose helmet rolled out of the pile, too. Don't think they're not going to hit each other.
Oh, yeah, they've been waiting all week to do this.
Yeah, you're going to see some rivets flying out of helmets here as this game goes along.
All right, 22, a wide receiver near us is C.J. Paucan of Cedarville. As Mickelson will fade, throw a short pass over Chad Cram's head. Negaunee Minor not able to jump up and grab that one, so it will be 3rd down and 10 on the 38-yard line.
And very good penetration, very good pressure by the West that time. Mickelson had the opportunity early to get rid of that football, but by the time the receiver had made any kind of a cut, there were red jerseys all over him. Very good penetration from the line there from the West All-Stars.
.33 now at the bottom of the screen is a receiver for the East. That is Luke Murray of Cedarville. Mickelson with Chad Cram behind him at fullback. Fake handoff. He's looking to throw. He's pressured. He's rolling. Receiver turns upfield, and Murray almost. Excellent effort by Luke Murray, and darn good coverage as well by Anthony Blonick of North Central.
I was about to say he was wearing Blonick actually when he went for that ball. Terrific coverage, nice little touch pass there, and again, these are all-star kids for a reason. A great athletic play, and Mike, I was just noticing something. That's the first stop of the clock we've had other than the exchange of the football. This has been a fast-moving first period.
Dan Menzie back in punt formation once again for the East.
There it is.
He'll feel better about that kick. It's going to bounce, turn left. his left, and goes out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. So the West will take over from there.
At the 35-yard line, first and 10 for the West from their own 35.
We'll see if this offensive line here for the West, Mike, can open things up here. The East defensively, really some good penetration, and of course that penalty pushed them back a little bit on that first drive as well. But got to find some openings here and got to get some forward movement here. They lost a ton of yardage here the first time out.
Logan Chatty of Lakeland and Humboldt now the quarterback. The quick handoff, and good for a first down. Mitch Pender of Iron Mountain. Not the biggest running back you'll see today, but he was able to find a hole, and he gained 12 yards.
Well, never underestimate what speed can do. And it was a quick hitter, it was a quick play. It took the East a little bit by surprise, and little guy got through there in a real hurry, and by the time people saw where he was past them already. So speed can do wonderful things for you.
Again, Chatty at quarterback. Pender is the fullback. Looks like 22. Brad Anderson at Calumet is the tailback. He now has the football, and he pushes it over midfield, keeps his legs churning for the better half of 5 yards, down to about the 47.
And that's exactly what we were looking for here on this drive, and I know that the coaching staff for the West pleased to see this. Two very good plays here, and again, both of them right through the interior line. Not having to go outside, not having to waste that time going east and west, just jumping right in, going north and south, and again, a good gain of 6 yards on the play.
Talk about these offensive linemen. Number 55 is the center, Marcus Smithson of Forest Park. And Chatty has them lined up, ready to go, and it's going to be a handoff to Pender again, and he gets about maybe a yard and a half or two.
Well, you're going to hear this name a lot defensively. That's Chanella from Ishpeming, 72 for the East, and again, sniffed that one out pretty good and got over his man. As a matter of fact, he kind of pushed down on him, got over him, able to reach out and get the running back, so that brings up third down. It's manageable, but again, you don't get this here, Mike. You're in their half of the field once again. This may be two-down territory again here for the West.
They break the huddle. Looks like a power-type running play, but I've been known to think better. No. Oh, missed exchange, and I think the East is going to have a recovery as Chatty and Anderson couldn't get the signal straight. Looks like Jordan Mako of Menominee with the recovery, or is that... Yeah, Jordan Mako with the recovery for the East squad, and they will take over on the West 47.
Interesting ball game so far, Mike. We've seen a little bit of everything, and we talk about momentum. We mentioned that a little while ago. You see little bits of it here and there, and then someone will lose it, and then you'll see the turnover, and we'll see what the East team can piece together here. Again, we saw them move the ball reasonably well in their first drive, and it looks like they're going to get back into it offensively here with Kyle Jensen from Gladstone running the show, and he'll start in the shotgun this time.
Zach Anderlaw, the center. He's used to snapping because it's single wing. And Jensen will cut back against the grain. He's off to the races. Inside the 25, the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, the juke, the touchdown. Kyle Jensen, 47 yards on the run.
And he left a defender there at the 5-yard line with just a nifty little juke move right there, and that's why that kid's an all-star. He hit the gas right around the 35-yard line, and as you mentioned, when he cut back, he had one player that had the angle on him, and he left him reaching for air right around the 5-yard line. Tremendous run.
So we have our first score of the game, and now that all-important special teams part. Andrew Figures of Cedarville is the kicker, takes the snap, pops it up, and yes, they nod. It's good. And the East is on the board first at a 7-0 lead. We'll be back with the kickoff right after this. Welcome back to the Superior Dome. You're watching the UP Football All-Star Game brought to you by TV6, XL Sports, and our platinum sponsor, Northern Michigan Bank. The East has just scored on a 47-yard touchdown run from Kyle Jensen. Extra point was good, and it's 7-0 East in the white. And Andrew Figures of Cedarville is ready to kick off. And as I look down to the other side, trying to identify, it looks like Mario Franchini of Iron Mountain is one of the deep people. And of course, the ball will not go to him. It will go to the other one. And He did a good job just to get to the 24-yard line. Try and double check his jersey number to see who that is. That is 19 in the red. That is Ryan Kleisner of Kingsford.
You think these kids don't want to play?
Smack, pop.
Now I realize a kickoff is, full speed ahead, and you're going to get hits like that, but not everybody. That was 11 big hits on 11 other guys. And I think we're awake now, Mike, at 7-0. I think we're ready to play some football now.
I think so, too. Out of the spread formation, Pat Flood of Iron Mountain will hand off, and a couple yards, maybe. And that is 43, Jake Menegini of Norway. Let's send it down to Mike Bedard. And it is 2nd and 10. Flood hands off to Jeff O'Clair of West Iron County, and that is good for a couple yards. Probably make it 3rd and 7 on about the 27.5.
I was looking for the tackle number on that 11. That was Wolin brought to Sault Ste. Marie. He doesn't make that tackle there at about the 27-yard line or so, Mike. We're looking way down where it says Wildcats in that other end zone. That was really a saving tackle, kind of subtly so. But when you take a look at how much carpet was in front of the runner there, that was really a heads-up play by Wolin.
76, Mitch Kieber of Ironwood is the right tackle as we try to identify more people. Oh, Flood's in trouble, but he escapes. And he is brought down on the 28-yard line. A host of white jerseys. He was able to avoid one white jersey, but then about 4 of them surrounded him after that. And that will set up 4th down and about 6 yards to go.
Well, credit Earl Lancor from Rapid River, their big number 66, really disrupting that play. He got into the backfield in a real hurry. And again, no time to set up offensively. And that's the tricky part of the passing game when you've only been able to work together for a week. Blocking schemes get missed a little bit. And it's people don't realize, I think, Mike, just how involved the passing game is, because you have to be the quarterback in the right place. The route has to be run correctly. The blocking schemes have to all be there. And that's really, really difficult to get that in 1 week. Give these kids credit for how far they have come, but that's tough to do.
Officials straightening out a small situation here. Colin Alsgog of Ewan-Trail Creek is the punter for the West. Deep for the East is guard Kangas, number 4 of Manistee. And I believe Kyle Jensen, the quarterback of Gladstone, also deep for the East.
And this is a dangerous tandem back there, quite honestly, for the,
They're not slow.
Have you seen enough Friday Night Fever? You know exactly what we're talking about. I mean, you don't have to be a fan of either one of these schools, but if you see what happens on Friday night, guard Kangas in particular, he gets hold of that football.
Division I track championships a couple weeks ago. Alskog puts his foot into it. Fair catch by Jensen right at the 40-yard line. And the East will take over from there. Let us send it down to Mike Bedard on the sideline.
Guys, you talked about Kyle Smock hurting his knee over the last summer and not playing football or basketball for a year. But here he is now, and he got the first carry of the game. How did it feel out there, Kyle?
Oh, it feels unbelievably back in the field, hitting hard with all these guys. It's just a great feeling.
And obviously you hurt your knee, you said, on 7-7 last summer.
Yeah, just a fluke thing, just made a cut, and just knee went one way, I went the other.
So you had to be chomping at the bit all this week.
Yeah, it's been tough, but this week getting back, everything's back to good and ready to go.
What's the diagnosis from here on out?
I'm ready to go, 100%. I'm going to be playing at Grand Rapids Community College and leaving Sunday, actually, to go to school.
All right, bud, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Good luck in the future. Send it back up to you, lads.
Cedarville C.J. Paucan pitched to Westwood's Jake Delangelo, and a good play on the defense by Tim Abradovich of Iron Mountain, and that will set up 2nd and 12.
And really the first time we've seen a substantial negative play, from the East. And we talked about Abradovich earlier on. He's a kid you're going to hear a lot about from Iron Mountain, wearing number 84 there in red. And he's a kid that can cause a lot of problems, and he's been on a lot of plays already here in this first quarter.
Derek Dake of Newberry, the wide receiver on the near side of the field. Guard Kangas of Manistee on the far side. Paucan hands off. And with some running room is number 15. That is Derek Horde of Sault Ste. Marie. And that will get a 3rd down and about 8 yards to go.
And there's one reason and one reason only that play worked, and that's big 76 Josh Wilson out of Cedarville on the offensive line. He pinned his man, turned him to his right, and the play went right behind him, opening up that hole. A terrific, terrific block.
So we try to identify a few more players for you. 44 is the tight end on this side, and that is Todd Anderson of Rudyard. Again, 3rd and 8 on the 43. Paucan on the spread, takes a snap, has time to throw, thinks about it. He's going to go deep, pretty well covered, and a nice defensive play by Mario Franchini as he knocks down the pass that was for Luke Murray. Cedarville to Cedarville connection, batted away.
Hey, it's an all-star game. You think you're going to see some athleticism? You're darn right. That was a great, great play. And if he doesn't time that jump perfectly, Mike, there's about a 4-inch difference between receiver and defender. That's touchdown. Otherwise, that's touchdown in that end zone.
Definitely. Dan Menzie back in punt formation. Again, dropping deep for the West is Ryan Kleisner of Kingsford and Mario Franchini. And Menzie puts a good foot into that one. Catch by Kleisner. The Lakeland and Hubble reverse is in effect. And look at Franchini go. He's near midfield before Menzie knocks him out of bounds. This is different. We have a punter with size today. Menzie can hit somebody.
Well, you got to remember, he's not just a punter.
He does a few other things.
He does a lot of other
like
things.
Ski,
and
soccer.
Well, on the football field, too, for Coach Soa at Marquette. You don't mess with this kid.
No.
And if you're going to try and return one of his punts, that's what's going to happen to you. And he got laid out right there at midfield.
I call it the Lakeland and Hubble reverse because Andy Crouch, one of the assistants, has been known to do that now and again during the regular season. Again, Pat Flood, the quarterback of Iron Mountain. Franchini, a fullback. So is Brad Anderson, the running back. Fake. Oh, Chatty, I should say. Logan Chatty of Lakeland and Hubble, quarterback. He barely gets it over midfield. Call it about 2nd and 9.5.
Actually did a nice little job of hiding the football on his hip as he turned to his left here, but only problem is when he turned right into 3 white jerseys.
Those darn white jerseys will get every time.
And again, really the difference in this ball game right now, Mike, has been the offensive line, as you mentioned, for the East, being able to kind of control things a little bit better. The offensive line for the West has not been able to open up as many holes here. We've seen some movement of the football, but it needs to be a little bit more consistent.
Chatty back to pass. Looking for Tyler Magaha. Oh, excellent effort by Magaha, but not able to pull it in. On the defense for the East, number 12, Brad Waters of Ishpeming.
It's funny, we talk about the running game in all-star games like this. We've seen a couple of pretty good passing routes and good passing efforts here, but better defensive efforts. Defensive backs in the corners are really covering their men very, very well.
Jake Dalt, number 30.
Which is weird. I don't want to interrupt you, but I just thought of something here, too.
Go ahead, Mark.
Think about it. This is a kid from Ishpeming. They never see any passes.
Yeah, for the most part, you're right.
You don't see very many passes in the Mid-Penn Conference, and they're playing them very, very well.
45, Travis DePoit of Rapid River / Mid-Peninsula, because he is from Mid-Peninsula, one of the defensive linemen. 3rd down and 10 from midfield. Halfback option pass, Meningini going deep for Verregen. Not quite. And he's reaching for the flag, and it's going to be pass interference on the play, and Tyler Verregen.
Well, he got Brad Waters, I think. The kid out of Ishpeming had just made the great play.
Wasn't the biggest bump in the world, but I guess it was enough.
Well, it's all in the timing, too. It's when you make the contact, does it impede the play? And unfortunately for Waters, that time, there's no question he impeded the progress of the receiver.
So that'll be marked off as 15 yards in the proper direction, and that will be a 1st down coming up on the East 35-ish yard line.
And I don't know if you noticed how long it took to get the flag out of the official's pocket.
He was stumbling.
They're a little out of practice, too.
He was rumbling, bumbling, and stumbling for that yellow hanky.
So the stripes are a little out of practice, a little rusty, too. Bury that flag deep in the front pocket instead of hanging it over in the back. But we'll get it.
Okay, new fullback, Mitch Pender of Iron Mountain in the game behind Logan Chatty. We also have Jake Menegini at running back, and Pender with the quick handoff over the 30-yard line. Gets down to the 28, gain of 7.
And Chanella there to finish him off, big number 72, kind of knocking the pile down, but again, not after a very, very good, positive play here. And the West is slowly but surely starting to put those together as we've reached the end of the 1st quarter.
And we are done with 1 quarter. It is 7-0 East, We'll be back for quarter number 2 at the UP Football All-Star Game right after this. And he is tackled at the 25-yard line. A very nice tackle by number 30, and that is Jake Dalt of Ishpeming, or else Mr. Pender would have had a few more yards.
Well, I mean, you nailed it right there, Mike. I mean, just a terrific one-on-one tackle, and that's just, you're either going to beat me or I'm going to knock you down. It's great to see individual one-on-one battles like that, and really what it does here is it puts the West now in a must-get situation. They're trailing 7-0 in the ballgame.
3rd and 1 on the 25. Chatty turns, hands off to Anderson. Brad Anderson to Calumet, gets the first down near the 20-yard line. So I try to read some of these lineman numbers. Want to get them some mention too because they're doing a good job. Ryan Gerbig of Lakeland and Humboldt is number 63. I see number 73, another Lakeland and Humboldt Lake. That's James Doobie. And David Koskela, another Lake, 82 at the tight end position. Coming up over center once again, Marcus Smithson of Forest Park. Chatty hands off to Jeff Auclair of West Iron County, and he is brought down after a couple yards. Jake Dalt again in on the tackle, along with 25, and that, I believe, is Dylan Menard of Nagani.
Very interesting setup here. You can see they went left, and now this time they kind of cut things off to the right. You got to wonder what Scott Body's got in mind here.
Time for misdirection?
Something's coming.
Yeah.
You get a feeling that something's coming here because they've gone left, up the middle, haven't gone right a whole lot, and that might have been a setup play.
Iron Mountain's Corey Runsat at the top of the screen, one wide receiver, handoff. No, Chatty with another good fake, but it does not get him a lot of yardage. In fact, a loss is 21. Dustin Demers of Manistee on the tackle. And that will set up 3rd down and about 11.
And we've seen 2 very, very good individual plays here from the East defensively on this drive, and that one kind of puts an exclamation point on things now for the West as they've got their work cut out for them in 3rd and 11, and Scott Body from Iron Mountain, the head coach, going to talk this one over.
And we will be back 7-0 East. You're watching TV6. Scott Body is quickly finishing up his talk on the West sideline, along with Andy Crouch and others, as they try to come up with a solution to 3rd and 11 on the East 22. The East has a 7-0 lead. And
that's one way to get 5 yards back.
Lakeland and Hubble's been known to pull that off a few times.
Well, that's more and more common actually than people realize. But yeah, it's a quick hard count, and these quarterbacks get into a little cadence, and all of a sudden the defense starts to get comfortable. They mix up the cadence, and you'll see a lot of that jumping around. And it does make this a little bit more manageable now. 3rd down at about 6.5.
Number 18, Alex Tarvinen of Lance, the receiver at the bottom of the screen. Chatty, the quick hit. Oh! I can't even identify the running back because number 50 made the tackle so fast. That's Chad Anderson of Sault Ste. Marie. He'll be playing his college football at NMU, and poor Mitch Pender didn't know what to do, and he didn't have a choice.
Well, that play had been working a little bit, but boy, when you're ready for a play, you're ready for a play. And the East on that one holds it to no gain, and 7-0 ball game. Still plenty of time here to get back into this one, and I believe the West is actually going to give this one a spin here on 4th down.
And of course, because we're not the strongest kicking peninsula in the world, they will go for it. Corey Runsat of Iron Mountain at the bottom of the screen. Tyler Magaha of Baraga at the top of the screen. Logan Chatty back, throwing for Magaha, who makes the catch. Oh, it's the hook and ladder! It's the hook and ladder. Lakeland and Hummel strikes again. It's a touchdown for Jake Meneghini after the pitch from Magaha.
In all-star games, there's always something. They've always got something up their sleeve. And you know that's a play they worked on, and all they did in the huddle was say, okay, guys, run it. And everyone knows what it is, and that's the hook and lateral, and it was executed perfectly.
Barriga ran this, I think, 3 out of 4 weeks to start the season for a touchdown. It just kept working. And Lakeland and Hubble runs it often, so 2 of the guys already knew what was happening. And you just have to teach Meningini how to time it right, and that worked out well. Corey runs that for the extra point. Nice snap. And, a major doink off the upright. They'll be feeling that one over in Negaunee.
Good night. He just about knocked the upright over.
It is 7-6 East. And let's send it down to Mike Bedard.
Guys, quickly, because Tyler McGough of Berga's got to get out there for kickoff. Tyler, run us through that play real quick.
I was just a quick hitch and threw the ball.
All right, we'll see you later. Tyler McGough from Berga, back up to you guys.
I won't. Okay, the East has a 1-point lead, 7-6 with 11:41 to go in the second quarter. So the combination of Scott Body and Andy Crouch digging deep into the playbook.
Well, you know what's funny about that play? Because you know all they said was something along the lines of, okay, boys, run it. Imagine the looks and the smiles on everyone in that huddle when they, okay, we're going to give this a shot here, and you know everybody just lit up. You know, the smiles and just the looks on the kids' faces when the coaches let them do that. There's, you know, you mentioned Lake Linden Hubble will run that, Barrigo will run that play, but not a lot of coaches out there, Mike, have the fortitude to actually let their kids do the unique little plays like that. So to be involved in something like that for some of these guys, that hook and laterals, was just a special moment.
Runset puts his foot into it. Dustin DeBears of Manistee makes the catch around the 2-yard line, gets in behind the wedge, looking for a hole, and doesn't really get one, and he will be scrummed down at the 22-yard line, maybe the 23. As we sort bodies out, now we'll check and see who the quarterback is for this series.
Well, Jim Wheeler from Forest Park was one of the first ones in there, it looks like. And again, you know, we mentioned this on the last kickoff, and you're going to see this a lot. These kids are here to play. I mean, there's a lot of big hitting and good blocking going on. This is fun to see.
Guard Kangas of Manistee will be a receiver. Looks like Josh Mickelson, his Emerald teammate, will be the quarterback. Rob Robinson of St. Ignace is the fullback. 1st and 10 on the 23. Hand to Robinson. He will get 1 yard. The running back, the tailback, is Derek Horde of Sault Ste. Marie, so it'll be 2nd and 9.
That's second straight play for Wheeler from Forest Park. As he got in there, and first one to the runner, and like you said, really no gain on the play. We're seeing a lot more of that, less swarming tackling now from the West, where there wasn't really the opportunity for that earlier on, but we're getting more and more of that here as the game starts to progress.
Chad Cram of Negaunee is now the fullback. Kangas on the near side. Hand off to Cram, and he gets a yard. As the East defensive line is doing a nice job limiting the yardage on the ground. I thought the East would be able to run the ball a little bit better than this.
Looking at numbers coming up off the bottom of that pile, and once again, Nick Harris, Iron Mountain, you know, big, solid, strong kid getting there, and you know, for the first time in a while now, we've got the East actually here, Mike, in a 3rd and long situation.
As Newberry's Derek Dake whispers the play to Josh Mickelson of Manistee. Dake will be at the bottom of the screen as the wide receiver. 3rd and 8. Option, Mickelson. Gets about a half a yard. And that will bring on the punting unit as Dan Menzie of Marquette runs back onto the field. Mario Franchini of Iron Mountain drops deep, along with number 19, Ryan Kleisner of Kingsford.
And again, first one there in the pile, Nick Harris from Iron Mountain making that play. And again, a very, very good defensive stand that time for the West All-Stars. And again, only down a point here, Mike, and they're one big play from taking the lead.
Menzie get a good bounce out of this, And, okay, maybe better than a good bounce. It was not touched. Well, maybe he did touch it. I didn't think he had. But Kleisner does make the grab inside the 15-yard line. So Menzies' average just leaped considerably.
Yeah, I don't know if he touched that ball, Mike, or if he sensed that there were 4 or 5 red jerseys coming to down that ball even deeper in the territory. It's a dangerous play, but he got away with it in smothering it right there. That ball keeps bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. You know, it's their ball, but it's at the 5, or their ball at the 2. This gives them a little bit more of a breathing room. I don't think he touched that ball as it went by him, though.
Cheerleaders today are from Lakeland and Hubble for the West and Manistee for the East. And we have a timeout by the East, so we'll take a timeout as well. It is 7-6, East in the lead, 9:14 to go in the second quarter. You're watching TV6. And we're back. Second quarter action of the UP Football All-Star Game, brought to you by TV6 XL Sports and our platinum sponsor, Northern Michigan Bank. It is 1st and 10 on the 14-yard line for the West. And a quick whistle before Pat Flood can do anything, which probably means 5 yards in the wrong direction, and that is the case.
You know, and you realize it is an all-star game, but that still drives coaches insane.
But it's
right after the timeout,
because we have spread offenses this year, and we didn't have much of that last year. So there's a little timing factor with the snap of the spread and the lineman moving. So,
but anytime you come out of a timeout and commit a penalty, even if it's in an all-star game, it's you throw the ball cap on the ground a little bit.
Judd Heathcote smack to the forehead, Judd butt, as they say. So Pat Flood will take the snap out of the spread. He's running to his left. He has a hole, and he is brought down by Mike McBride of Negaunee after a reasonably good game to the 18-yard line.
And again, you know, you talk about hitting at this level of football in an all-star game, you're going to see it. McBride took a face mask right in the chest. Still able to bring him down here, but you know the runners are going full blast. It's a good tackle, but you're going to see a lot of contact and a lot of physical play here as we head through the afternoon.
Alex Pearson of Stevenson, number 71, one of the defensive tackles, now behind center. Flood hands off to the fullback, Jeff O'Clair of West Iron County, and he keeps scrambling, keeps moving his feet nicely, able to get to about the 22-yard line. That will set up 3rd and about 2 or 3.
And again, it's McBride from Negaunee. He got there first and slowed the runner down. He stopped his momentum, Mike, which really kept the West from getting that first down. McBride was there, got to him, got his hands around his waist a little bit, and that allowed the other white jerseys to get there. So McBride again on back-to-back plays.
Linebacker at the bottom of screen 24, Mikkel Canton of Pickford. So we look at 3rd and about 3, Flood over center, and yeah, they're pointing toward the offside, and that's what they get, a free first down. Who did you think moved, Mark?
It certainly looked to me like the offensive line, there was a little bit of a flinch there. But you'll take it if you're Scott Body and then the West All-Stars and move it upfield here. But that certainly looked from here, either that or, you know, of course you have your glasses on. Mine are sitting on the vanity at home where I left them. But it certainly looked like someone in a red flinched a bit.
Back to the spread. Flood takes the snap, looking for a receiver. He's going to go deep, and Magaha cannot connect on which shoulder the ball was going to be. And that is incomplete. Coverage provided by number 11, Tyler Wallen of Sault Ste. Marie.
Well, there's a couple of things going against that play. Great coverage for starters. The receiver looks over the wrong shoulder, like he said, and the throw was actually kind of a pop-up, too. And these kids, I'm sorry, you know, other than maybe one playoff game, this is a difficult ceiling to look at.
Yes.
And the ball is the same color as the rafters, and you can lose it very, very quickly. Better throws in this building and in this atmosphere, more darts, you know, right across the line.
Hand off to Brad Anderson at Calumet. Picks up a couple yards among the tacklers. 24, Mikkel Hansen of Pickford.
Now Tyler Hansen from Bark River Harris got in there as well, yeah.
That will set up 3rd and about 6. On the 30-yard line, 30-yard line. And we're going to have a whistle. We're going to stop things for a second.
McBride's probably got a little blood on him.
Yeah,
And
he's holding up his arm like, yeah, I took a digger on the turf. And it looks like the 27 coming in, that would be Bruce Anderson of Gladstone. A very versatile player. He can play running back, he's played the line, he's played linebacker. He is one reason why the Braves had such a good year.
it's the kind of thing you hate the kid graduates because you want him back year after year after year.
Fake. Flood rolls right. I don't see anybody open. He doesn't either. So he picks up the first down as he gets out near the 30, 40-yard line.
Great coverage downfield, Mike, but even better blocking by that offensive line who drop back into pass coverage.
We do have a flag down, and a face mask
Oof.
will add more yards to the play.
Offensive line drop back in their blocking scheme, Mike, and he had room and time. And again, the coverage downfield, terrific by the East, but when that kind of play breaks down, there's usually a lot of room. And that's what you see on first down, and then again, you rub some salt in the wound here with that face mask penalty on top of it.
5-yard face mask penalty, so first down on just about the 45-yard line. Flood hands off to Mitch Pender, loses the football. Oh,
Still
did not
loose.
fall on it. Oh, he thought he did, but it bounced away. And the West is going to recover and try and see who grabbed it. And it is going to be a first down for the East.
Yeah, I don't think Pender really ever had that ball. It looked like he turned away from us and from the camera here, but it really never looked to me like he was comfortable, like that ball may have been slipping out of his gut as he was going there, and all of a sudden it falls on the turf, and the football is going to bounce every direction all at the same time. And so a break here for the East. We'll see if they can capitalize.
Terry Martin, Amanda Steek, the right tackle. Caleb Visna, the Sioux, the right guard as they come out. Kyle Jensen out of the spread formation, the Gladstone quarterback. He has scored the East touchdown. He is going to follow his blocker. And Kyle Smock put a lick on a man, but Ryan Kleisner still made a nice tackle to Kingsford Flivver for a loss of about 2 yards.
Well, he was the reason that play got strung out to the right in the first place, so he might as well get the credit for the tackle. And a great play, and again, a loss of about 3 on 3 yards here, and they'll move him back to midfield.
So call it second and about 13 or 12, depending on if you want to listen to the PA announcer or me.
I'll take Sean O'Donnell any day.
Here. Thanks.
He's just loving it because he's higher up than he is at Nagani.
Yeah, that's for sure. Zach Anderlove, Menominee, the center. 75, Josh Hadel of Gladstone, the left tackle, as Jensen looks to pass, floats it across to Justin Salzman of Menominee, who makes the catch, tries to spin away from a tackle, cannot do so, but he did pick up about 7 or 8 yards down to about the 43-yard line of the West.
Keeps the clock moving too here, Mike, and a lot of times in these all-star situations, these games can really drag out because you see a lot of turnovers, you see a lot of penalties and things like that. This game's been very, very smooth. Looks like we're going to get the first half in and probably about an hour, maybe just a little bit less, which is a great pace for the game.
4 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the second quarter. 3rd down and 5 on the East 43-yard line. Jake Delangelo in the backfield of Westwood next to Kyle Jensen. Derek Bacon-Newberry, the receiver, on the near side of the field. And it's a handoff to Delangelo, who had a hole for about a tenth of a second. And the ball's on the field. And Jensen finally falls on it. And that will bring up 4th down. Delangelo had a hole, but it closed as soon as it was there.
Well, he had the hole, but he got rocked as he got there, as that hole closed in an awful hurry. And he had the ball in his right hand, and the hit came to his right shoulder, and that ball shot out of there backwards about 10 yards. Heads up play by Jensen, but boy, they dodged a big bullet there.
4th and 20 now. Dan Menzie of Marquette back to punt. His highest punt of the day. And that will go out of bounds around the 28. Let's see if the official agrees with me. Oh, he'll give him an extra yard or 2. Okay. So we'll call it the 27-yard line, and the West will take over on offense. Pat Flood of Iron Mountain will be the quarterback as the West comes out. As the Western All-Stars take a little break on the bench after a good defensive series. Tyler Verhagen of North Central will be the wide receiver to the near side of the field. Looks like Corey Bunsat of the Mountaineers on the far side. Jeff O'Clair of West Iron County is the running back next to Flood, who goes back to pass, and he's looking for Verhagen, who makes a great catch at the 44-yard line. Pretty good coverage by Tyler Hansen of Bark River Harris, but that is an impressive first down.
It is, because you can't cover a receiver better than that without interfering with him. Hansen was right there defensively. He did everything a DB can do in that play. Just a terrific toss and a very athletic play on the reception. And well, you want some momentum for the West. There's a great way to build some, plenty of time too, with just under 3 minutes to go till halftime.
Again, out of the spread, Flood with Jake Menegini of Norway next to him, option to Menegini, and he makes a juke move to get around one defender, and he gets to the eastern side of the field, down around the 47-yard line.
And that little juke move right there, Mike, you can't coach stuff like that. That's just a kid who knows what he's doing, and he made that little move and a good positive play.
Let's go down to TV6's Mike Bedard.
Well, guys, it's not easy to take down Gladstone's Kyle Jensen, but we got Ryan Kleisner here from Kingsford who did it. Ryan, how hard is it bringing Jensen down?
Oh, it's hard, but I don't know. He's just a player like everybody else, so got to be able to take him down, make a play when you're out there.
So you guys looking for the option out there? Obviously, he's run it for years and years and years.
Yeah, we've been. We knew that he runs it good, and we've been practicing with it all week, so we've been prepared. We knew he was going to run it, so we took care of it.
Thanks a lot, Ryan. Appreciate it. Ryan Kleisner from Kingsford. Back up to you guys.
Throws it away. Flood rolling right, throws it away. Could not see a receiver open, and neither could I.
Very dangerously close to grounding, but you know, he's
it's
moving.
It's an all-star game.
That, and if you want to take a look at the outside the pocket rule,
yes.
Which, I mean, you could throw a dozen reasons in there to throw the flag, a dozen reasons not to throw the flag. Let's just play and have some fun. But that play covered very, very well by the East. You know, they saw that he was going to sprint to his right, and everybody dropped back in coverage, and there was really nowhere for him to go with that ball.
Again, 7-6, East with the lead, 2:28 to go in the second quarter. Pat Flood, the quarterback. Oh, a little bit of sneakeroo. He saw a little hole there on 3rd and 1 and gained about 7. First down inside the 40-yard line.
Toughest part in that play, Mike, is holding on to the ball.
Yes, because he couldn't get it fast enough.
Well, he got it, and it's very difficult to get that ball and hold on to it when you get it that quick and burst across the line. But he took a couple of pops there, and there was also a bunch of hands getting in there too, and he did a nice job just to hold on to that ball for positive yardage.
So a first down for the East on the West, I should say, on the East 38-yard line. And we have whistles.
Timeout.
And Scott Body says, we need to talk something over here. And Andy Crouch says the same. So let's take a timeout as well. 7-6, 2 minutes to go in the first half. The East with the lead. 2 minutes to go in the first half. The West driving on the East 38-yard line. Pat Flood of Iron Mountain, the quarterback. Going back the pass. Rolls to his right. Pursued. Throws. Yes. Tyler Verhagen of North Central with the catch, and that will be a first down as Negauni's Dylan Menard makes the tackle.
And what he did was give his quarterback a target. He was covered, he was covered, he was covered. In a play like that, usually the beginning of the play, receivers are covered, but they move around, they get open, and all of a sudden you can find your guy if he's willing to work hard and do that, and the receiver found enough of an opening, and they moved the chains again.
Verhagen, one of many athletes in this game that won a race at the UP track finals recently in Division III. Another quarterback sneak by Flood. That's good for about 5-6 yards down to near the 20-yard line.
And again, you can tell that's a play he's used to, because a quarterback that's not ready to run that play or hasn't historically run that play will many times lose the ball. Commented on the last time he did that, you're running directly into traffic and running right into a lot of helmets and hands, and strong play just to hold on to that football.
Minute 20 to go in the first half, 2nd and 4 on the 20-yard line. Corey runs out of Iron Mountain at the top of the screen, and he's looking the other way for Verhagen, and just a bit overthrown. Coverage provided by Tyler Wallen of Sault Ste. Marie.
Well, he kind of fell back on that. You know, like when you're shooting basketball, it's almost like a fadeaway jump shot.
That was a far throw.
Yeah, when you fall back, you're not going to get much on that, and the throw becomes a lot less accurate. Now there's a little bit of trouble here. At 3rd and 4, you're going to need something positive if you're going to want to grab this baby on 4th down.
Minute 7 to go with the clock stopped on the incompletion. Scott Kadia over center. Kadia of West Iron County. Back the pass is Flood. He's looking for Verhagen again. And, just off his hands. Tyler Wallen again on the coverage for the East.
And again, originally the receiver had looked over the wrong shoulder. An outstanding job to get reacclimated as to where the ball was. I think another problem with that, Mike, like we said, is the fact that you're looking up at rafters here in the Superior Dome that are the exact same color as the football, and that can be very difficult to pull out of that.
And Tyler is Verhagen not used to that. They're going to go for it again on 4th down. You don't think another hook and lateral's in the book, do you?
Hey, why not?
Hey, it worked once. Got Magaha this time at the bottom of the screen. And we got whistles galore. We have a timeout by the East.
Probably a reminder from Paul Jacobson to say, hey, guys, watch out for that hook and lateral.
Let's talk about, name some of the coaches in the game for the East. The head coach is Paul Jacobson of Negaunee. His brother, Kevin, is one of the assistants. Mark Marana, the offensive coordinator for the Miners, is also an assistant coach. Manastique also big on the coaching staff for the East. Todd Kangas, the head coach, along with assistant Chris Marana and Ed Marietti. And Marty Spencer of St. Ignace, also an assistant coach for the East. On the west side, go ahead, Mark.
Well, Scott Body, the head coach at Iron Mountain, takes the head side here on the west. Andy Crouch of Lakeland and Hubble, one of the assistants. John Croce from Calumet. Joe Redinger from North Dickinson in there, Don Swalovski from the Houghton area schools, and George Twardzik from Calumet. And again, you know, you want a who's of coaches in the UP, they're here too. It's not just the kids, you know, these are guys that have amazing records. And, you know, you take a look at Paul Jacobson, for example, 9 years, he's what, 75 and 28 or something crazy like that?
4th and 4 in the 20. Flood, back the pass, screen, Brad Anderson,
Great
and
play.
Down he goes. Thanks to number 21, Dustin Demers of Manistee.
That had all the earmarks of being a touchdown, Mike, until all of a sudden there's one white jersey out there that they lost track of. And the Manistee Emerald kid, Demers, he just came in, played it perfectly. Not only is it a turnover on downs, it's a loss of yardage on the play. You could see that screen being set up. You could see the blocking upfield, and all of a sudden, one white jersey, and that's all it took. He snuffed it out.
Well, it's an all-star game. I highly doubt they'll kneel on it.
Well, you got to remember this, you know, the East last year at halftime, this was pretty much a blowout with the West on top. It got ugly in that second quarter last year. And, you know, they go in the locker room with a 7-6 lead, I don't know.
And we have a whistle before the snap, and oh boy, Derek Hord looked like he was going to pick up some yardage on the play, but it's going to be 5 yards in the other direction for illegal procedure.
Well, we've certainly had more flags than we did last year, Mike, but still, you know, for this being an all-star game, you can't complain with the penalties at all.
We have more schools represented than last year in terms of number of schools represented, so that, of course, could play into the part of it as well.
Yeah, a little bit. I think last year was probably more of an anomaly than anything else, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just let things go a little bit more last year. Like you said, these officials are having their salaries donated. Maybe they really want to make that donation count.
Manistee's Josh Mickelson at quarterback. Guard Kangas, his Emerald teammate, on the bottom of the screen. And the handoff this time does go to Hord. And there wasn't nearly as much room as he had before the whistle blew on the procedure penalty.
Well, Paul Jacobson is not going to do anything to turn the ball over here. You know, they are going to be very, very cautious here as they're just at their own 22-yard line right now. When the goal line's at your back like that and you're in a one-point game heading into halftime, you do not want to do anything to give your opponent, even if it is an all-star game, any momentum at all.
Ed Zarn of Forest Park and Bruce Romanoli of Iron Mountain amongst those on the tackle. We're down to 17 seconds in the first half, 2nd and 12. Mickelson going back to pass.
Why
he is
not?
going to throw one deep, and it should have been caught and it should have been intercepted at the same time. C.J. Paucan of Cedarville was the receiver on the play. 28, Shane Johnson of Ewan-Trout Creek, the defender.
Well, he had to change his route just a little bit there at the last second, and that can sometimes get in your head a little bit. But, yeah, you're right. That was hit him right in the hands, but with the defender right on him. Tough play, brings up 3rd and long.
8 seconds to go in the half. The double secret probation prevent defense should now be in effect for the East.
Well, if I know Jake, this is going to be
or the West, I mean.
This is going to be a hitter over left tackle, and let's get into the locker room in one piece.
He's going to throw for. He's going to throw for Kank. No, not for Kangas. He's going for Paucan again, and Shane Johnson's right there for the interception. And that will be the end of the first half. Nice pickoff by the Ewan-Trout Creek Panther. And the teams will go to the locker room with the East in front by the score of 7-6. You're watching the UP Football All-Star Game, brought to you by TV6, XL Sports, and our platinum sponsor, Northern Michigan Bank. It's halftime, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to halftime here at the UP Football All-Star Game. Mike Bedard of TV6 is down on the field with both coaches. Let's send it down to Mike.
That's right, lads. We got a 7-6 halftime lead for the West squad, and right now we have the West head coach Scott Body, also head skipper at Iron Mountain. Coach, a little undersized compared to the East side. It seems like you guys have been going to the air a lot in the first half.
We've just been trying to get anything we can, and we've got different schemes with different quarterbacks, so we're just trying to grind things out.
It seems like when you have your old quarterback Pat Flood in there, you seem to be going to the air to Tyler McGaha and Tyler Verhagen.
Yeah, and then hopefully Pat can run the ball a little bit too.
And you guys were running a few trick plays this week I saw in practice, and you used one of them.
Andy Crouch pulled it out, and sometimes they work.
You want to tip us off to any new plays in the second half while Paul Jacobson's there?
No, I just hope our defense keeps playing good.
All right, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Thanks again. We'll go now over to head coach of the East team, Paul Jacobson, also head skipper at Negaunee. And Coach, you guys got the size advantage down in the trenches, and it seemed like you tried to establish that early.
We just got to keep getting back to what we feel is going to work for us. And like you said, we got some hogs up front, and we just got to sustain some drives and get our defense off the field right now.
Now, will we see any trickery or chicanery from the East side here in the second half?
You never know. You never know. We got some athletes, and we want to get the ball in those guys' hands and let them make some plays.
Guys like it seems Coach Body mentioned that they use different packages with different quarterbacks, and it seems every time you guys bring in Kyle Jensen, you use the old option, which is what he's used to in Gladstone.
Well, and then that's the biggest thing. One of the biggest jobs a coach I think can do is not screw up his players, and we're trying to utilize our quarterback's abilities and gear our offenses around those individuals that are in at that time.
And how do you pull this one out in the second half, Coach?
Hey, we're up 7-6. We just got to keep doing what we're doing and grind it out and get some stops on defense.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Paul Jacobson, head coach of the East squad, also Negaunee High School. They lead 7-6 at halftime. We'll send it back upstairs to you, lads.
Thank you, Mike. Be sure to stay tuned for Wimbledon coverage on NBC, which will start at the conclusion of the game right here on TV6, Upper Michigan's source. We'll be back after this timeout.
Here they go. And the lineman wins.
Okay, we're back with the second half of the UP Football All-Star Game. Brought to you by TV6, XL Sports, and platinum sponsor Northern Michigan Bank. Dan Menzie of Marquette is the East kicker. He has the ball on the tee, ready to send it to probably either Mario Franchini of Iron Mountain or Ryan Kleisner of Kingsford. And the answer is Franchini at the 2-yard line. Tries to get in behind his wedge, but Robinson of St. Ignace is right there to say, no, I don't think so. There is a flag down. Did he get him by the mask?
If he didn't, that's going to be the call anyway. You can't horse collar a kid like that, and they're going to throw that flag more often than not. I don't think he deliberately went after him, but
no.
You think there's a little passion out there on these teams?
That'll wake you up to start the second half.
Whoa.
That's for darn sure.
And the coaching staff of the East at point, he didn't touch his face mask, but it's not a safe play.
Yeah.
And they're going to flag that every time.
And I believe that the MHSAA went along with the National Federation last year in saying that's a no-no. So now the West takes over.
It's too bad. Other than that, it was a great play.
Logan Chatty of Lakeland and Hubble is the West quarterback. He turns and hands to Mitch Pender of Iron Mountain. Gets the ball over the 35-yard line to the 36. Gain of 2. That sets up 2nd and 8 on the 36.
Let me take a look back at the first half here, Mike. I think both teams really doing what they can to utilize their strength. You talk about the East and their running game and the size they had in the offensive line. We saw a lot of examples of that. Mixing it up a little bit more, I believe, would be the best way to put it for the West All-Stars right now. And, of course, the hook and lateral on the touchdown. You know, it's going to be an interesting second half to see what these coaches worked on at halftime and talked about to these guys.
Brad Anderson and Calumet swarmed under by number 50, Chad Anderson, the NMU football recruit from Sault Ste. Marie.
I've noticed one other thing here in this football game here, Mike, and I don't know if you caught this or not as well. You're saying a lot of the same names. All-star games have a tendency to, you see a lot of guys kind of rising above and rising to the situation, and we've seen a lot of that here in this ball game. Tim Obradovich from Iron Mountain, we've talked about him a lot. Anderson there from the Sioux, we've talked about him a lot. These are guys that are out there making great plays.
3rd and 8 on the 36. Chatty fakes, rolls in deep trouble, and throws it. Anderson makes the catch, but a big loss of yardage. John Shanilla of Ishpeming really getting in the way of just about everything on that play.
Yeah, you're almost better to let that ball hit you in the chest and fall to the turf as an incompletion, because that's a loss on the play, even though it's a completion. Marching back and back and back, that's a loss on that play, Mike, of about 17 yards.
Not quite that many, but you're in the neighborhood. 4th down and 5, 10, 20-ish. Call it 19 to round it off. Colin Alsgog, the punter from Ewan Trail Creek for the West. Deep guard Kangas of Manistee and Kyle Jensen of Gladstone. Nice snap. Alsgog puts his foot into it. Jensen makes the catch. He tries to advance up the sideline, but Jake Menegini says, no, you don't. Oh, uh-oh. We have a flag down, a little bit of a disagreement just short of midfield. And I got to figure out what's going on. Personal foul on the West. I did not see that one, and probably just as well that I did.
You know, I didn't see the play either, and whoever that kid is for the East All-Star, he is hot, and the coaching staff and the players quick to get him to the sideline, so it's not coincidental penalties. I don't know what happened in that pile, but that kid for the East All-Stars came up, and he was not happy with what happened to him. And you know, and again, we talked about it earlier on. There's a lot of intensity in this game. It's a tight ball game right now, 7-6, the East with the lead, and you know, these kids, a lot of them, this is their last football game of their careers. A lot of them won't go on to play college at any level, and they want to walk out of here a winner tonight.
East, 1st down on the West, 41.5-yard line. Kyle Jensen of Gladstone at quarterback. Fakes the handoff to Kyle Smock of St. Ignace. Jensen keeps it over the 40, down to about the 38-yard line. Tackle by Bruce Romanoli of Iron Mountain and others.
Well, and Adam Kent came over and threw a big shoulder in there, too, at the end. Again, we talked about the East All-Stars and their strength in the ball game, and that is the running game.
Let's go down to TV6's Mike Bedard. Mike?
Luds, I have a few young ladies here from Lake Linden's cheerleading squad that'd like to send a special message along.
Hey, Courtney Hendrickson, we wish you were here. We love you.
Courtney couldn't make it due to a death in the family, so they just wanted to pass along their best wishes. Back up to you, Luds.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you, ladies. Handoff this time does go to Kyle Smock, and he will take it down to the 36-yard line, setting up 3rd down and 5.
Well, you're getting into 4-down territory easily here, Mike, the 36.5 yard line. And referees can actually talk this over now. We have an equipment issue.
Yes, we do. And it was on Ed Zarn of Forest Park. It's all fixed. And we're back and ready to go. Jim Wheeler of Forest Park, number 54, playing one of the middle linebacker spots along with Bruce Romanoli right now of Iron Mountain. He's number 44. Jensen going left. He's not throwing this one. He's got a first down, uses his blockers nicely inside the 10-yard line, down to about the 8 or 9 yard line. A gain of about 28 yards.
And a terrific seal block out there on the left flank from Abe Prusy from Negaunee. He is the reason that he was able to turn the corner, and Prusy set that one up with a great block and a big gain on the plate. Remember that block.
It was
later on in
very
the game.
good, yes. Abe did a nice job sealing, like you said. One of the reasons why Negaunee had a good running attack last season. Didn't get a chance to catch a lot of passes at the tight end position, but definitely known for his blocking. So 1st and goal, about just inside the 10-yard line. Chad Crammon Negaunee is the fullback. The tailback is Jake Delangelo of Westwood, and he's going to get a yard and a half to about the 8.
Well, give the West defensive line there a lot of credit. They're sealing that very, very quickly. And again, the East has had some good success over on that left side of the offensive line, and that time the West right side of their defensive line equal to that task.
Kyle Jensen, the quarterback, he's from Gladstone, has the play. Same running back formation. Chad Crammon, Negaunee, the fullback. Jake Delangelo, Westwood, the tailback. Derek Dakin-Newberry, the wide receiver on the far side of the screen. And student body right with Jensen, who doesn't have anywhere to go, and you're going to get a holding penalty as well. And it looks like the East will be sent in the opposite direction.
I think they may have gotten Cram, the fullback, actually on that hold, as that big pile just kind of kept falling and falling to the right. And Cram, I don't know if he really reached out and held the guy, but more had to tackle him, almost fell on him. And so we're going to push this one back a little bit.
Tell you about some of the East defensive linemen, seeing that I can see their numbers pretty well. Number 58 is Adam Kent of Iron Mountain. 75, as we mentioned, Ed Zarn of Forest Park. Nelson Winkie of Kingsford is number 42. We have another official's timeout, so I can keep going here. Nick Harris of Iron Mountain is 64. Zach Kolbus of West Iron County is number 36. That's more or less the front 5, if you want to call it that. As we mentioned, the linebackers are Jim Wheeler, 54, Forest Park, Bruce Romanoli, 44 of Iron Mountain. In the defensive backfield, Shane Johnson of Ewan-Trail Creek's at one corner. Ryan Kleisner of Kingsford is the safety, number 19. And Mario Franchini of Iron Mountain, number 20. And 84 also on the field, Tim Obradovich of Iron Mountain. Looks like he's playing kind of a rover. 2nd and 22 and another whistle, which is good because that gives me more chance to say names. East with a timeout. Lineman right now, I see number 75 trotting off the field. That's Josh Hadel, the Western Michigan recruit from Gladstone. Number 58 is Caleb Visna. He's from the Sioux. He will be going to Carroll College in Wisconsin. The center is Zach Anderla of Menominee. Justin Salzman of Menominee, number 84, is the tight end. Guard Kangas of Manistee, number 4, playing the wide receiver position. As you look at the East huddle, trying to get the words of wisdom from Scott Body, how to stop this drive and stay within a point.
Well, it's a big time out here for the East here, Mike. I know it's early in the third quarter here, but, you know, Paul Jacobson and the staff want to get in the end zone because, you know, last year, you know, this game was pretty much over by this time. By the way, the West really controlled the second quarter last year. This one's still anybody's ball game, and it looks to me, quite honestly, Mike, that points are going to be at a premium here this afternoon. And if you get a position now where you had it 1st and goal, you were inside the 10, you get the holding call, and you lose some yardage on the play, you still have to stay in the area of scoring here. And I think Paul Jacobson wants to calm his guys down, get them thinking what they have to do, and get this ball upfield as quickly, and as efficiently as they can. You're out at the 22-yard line, and it may be a while before you get this close again, the way that this ball game has gone.
A couple of players we can also identify. Terry Martin of Manistee is, I believe, the right tackle. He is number 77 in white. He will be going to Saginaw Valley State University for bowling. That's right, bowling. I knew I'd surprise you with that one.
No, I'd actually heard that. I didn't buy it, but I heard it. Imagine what a kid that size can do to 10 pieces of wood.
54 is the right guard, Aaron Diepenhorst of Rudyard. He is going into the U.S. Marines. 2nd and 22, pretty much 2nd and goal. Jensen looking over the middle, over the head of Derek Horde of Sault Ste. Marie, down around between the 5 and the 10-yard line. It will be 3rd and goal from the 22.
Well, he had time on that, but still, even with that, Adam Kent from Iron Mountain getting there and right at his feet, and even though he had a lot of time there in the backfield, you could tell he had to throw that ball when he wasn't quite ready for it. The receiver, you could see, was in the midst of traffic when he let that one go, and now it's 3rd and long. And again, as you've mentioned, unfortunately, the UP conferences and the high school is not really known for their special teams and their kicking game. And Paul Jacobson, it's got to be driving him crazy right now that his team is leading by an extra point. It's got to be driving him nuts.
All right. I'm looking at the bottom of the screen. Guard Kangas is the taller receiver. He's not going that way. He's going the other way. And that's a touchdown.
Catch.
Justin Salzman with the catch for the East squad. 22 yards from Jensen, the Menominee grad who will play football at NMU, with a very nice catch.
Shane Johnson from Ewan-Trout Creek right there in coverage, but just got out jumped in that corner of the end zone.
There's a height advantage for the receiver on that one. At least a couple inches.
And you can't cover that much better. He turned around, he spotted the ball. And the East coaching staff seeing where they had a little bit of a height advantage, and he had time to throw the football, which is the real key.
And the kick for the point is good by Andrew Figures out of the hold of Luke Murray, both Cedarville products. And we have a 14-6 ball game in favor of the East. We'll take a timeout. You're watching the UP Football All-Star Game right here on TV6. Welcome back. 8:44 to go in the 3rd quarter. We are using 15-minute quarters. Dan Menzie puts his foot into the ball. Ryan Kleisner with the catch at Kingsford on about the 2-yard line, looking for a hole, and isn't going to really find one, as he is buried by Abe Prusi of Negaunee. Also down there, 33 in white, is Luke Murray of Cedarville.
Let's go back to that last drive by the Eastern. There's a couple of key plays on that I want to point out here for the West, actually. And it started off, Mike, you remember on the punt, the personal foul.
Yes.
That moved things forward. And you see in these situations here, it's mistakes that are going to hurt you. And when Scott Body looks at the tape, if the West doesn't come back and win this game, that one's probably going to haunt them the most, because they had kicked the ball out, they punted it out, put the East in okay field position, but certainly not great. 15-yard penalty right off the bat, moved the East into their territory, and they took it in from there.
Pat Flood of Iron Mountain, the quarterback. The pitch to Jake Menegini of Norway. He's trying to get outside. Mike McBride of Negaunee slows him down and gets him warded off from the sideline after a gain of about 5 yards.
And you don't think those two ever had to match up with each other during the course of the regular season, do you?
Yeah. Let's go down to TV6's Mike Bedard.
5, 2nd and 5.
Yeah, guys, we're here with Justin Salzman from Menominee, who just climbed the ladder and made it 14-6. Justin, take us through it.
Well, Coach split me out and told me to run a fade, and they're going to throw it up for me, so I just did the route, and then the ball was up there, and I had to come back for it a little bit, and I just pulled it in.
Well, you're coming here for school next year to play. It seems like you got the lay of the land down pretty good.
Yeah, I like it up here, and hope everything goes good, and I'm ready for next year.
All right, thanks a lot, Justin. Appreciate it. Great catch, man.
Thanks a lot.
That was Menominee's Justin Salzman with the big touchdown. Back up to you guys.
3rd down.
Thank you, Mike. Jake Menegini of Norway picks up a little bit of yardage, setting up 3rd down and 4 on the 21-yard line. Key play here.
Well, it's a key drive, quite honestly, for the West here. They're down 14-6, Mike. A lot of time to go, but you know, they need to get something positive. They need to get points. And they don't want to let the East, you know, start to pile it on, which they very well could if they don't get the first down here.
Pat Flood takes the snap, looking to throw, looking for somebody open, just a couple people in the pattern, and down he goes. 72, John Chanilla of Ishpeming. 45 is Travis DePoit of Rapid River. And this one's going to be marked down about the 10-yard line.
And Flood slow to get up here, Mike. I think he actually may have landed on the ball when he got brought down by the two defenders, and he was very, very slow to get up. That is not what the West needed right there without, I mean, that's as obvious as we can be here. But, geez, you know, you wanted positive yardage, and now, once again, you're going to be punting out of your own end zone.
Colin Osgog of Ewan-Trail Creek is the West punter. Guard Kangas of Manistee and Kyle Jensen of Gladstone are deep for the East. This one's going to take a bounce and a good bounce and a second good bounce and more good bounces.
That's fortunate. That's very fortunate for the West there that Jensen decided to stay away from that one. You know, and again, there's a big difference between playing on natural grass, which is what these kids' entire career is played on, and this rock-hard turf, which, by the way, is being replaced here starting on Monday. They're ripping this one out of here. This is the last game that's ever going to be played on this turf here in the Dome. But if you're playing on natural grass, that ball is not going to bounce that hard.
Let's go down to TV6's Mike Bedard.
Guys, we're down here in the East stands, and we got a bunch of St. Ignace moms here. We're going to talk with Sherry Ozier. They have these special T-shirts, and Sherry, show off that T-shirt and tell us what it's all about.
Andy Tamlin's mom actually organized the whole thing, and she had the whole community go in and buy the shirts, and everybody did a great job supporting the team.
And this is for what now?
For oh no, everybody just yes, the fundraiser for the sponsorship for the ads.
To bring the kids, to help the kids come up here this week. And who else do we got with us here today?
This is Laura Anderson, Kyle Smock's mom, Dewey Robinson, Rob Robinson's mom, and I'm Tyler Oya's mom.
Thanks a lot, ladies. Appreciate the time. Go Saints and go East Squad today.
Go East. Go East.
Back up to you guys.
Very nice tackle by Adam Kent of Iron Mountain, stopping that play in its tracks, setting up 2nd and 14 for the East. Cedarville C.J. Paukhand, the quarterback, number 34, Jake Delangelo, the ball carrier on the last play from Westwood, but he had nowhere to go. Out of the spread, Paukhand looks for receiver, finds guard Kangas of Manistee. Nice little move over the 40 to almost the 44-yard line, and that will be within about 2 yards of a first down.
And Kangas did a nice job of spotting where his defenders were and trying to get to where their weakness was. He turned around, he saw the red jerseys, and also found a little bit of a seam, and because of that was able to get up closer to the first down marker. He would have been about 4 yards, 3 yards back on that play if he hadn't turned and spotted the defender the way that he did.
Todd Anderson of Rudyard bringing in the play to Paukhand. 3rd and 2. We're down to 5:20 to go in the third quarter. The East in the white shirts with a 14-6 lead. Kangas, the receiver on the near side. Derek Dake of Newberry on the far side. Paukhand takes the snap, looks for a hole, can't find one, and he is going to get brought down basically by number 14, Ryan Morrow of Ontonagon, with a little help from his friends.
Well, he did, but he's the reason that play didn't go anywhere, and honestly, he jumped the route. It wasn't a passing route, but, you know, he's one of these corners and guys out there on the wing that, you know, you sense after a while kind of what's coming, and to a degree, he jumped the route on the quarterback, and he really had nowhere to go.
And Paukhand was the winner in the 40-yard dash this week in the Players Skill Challenge on Wednesday, so nice job by Morrow making the play. Dan Menzie of Marquette with the punt. Nice one. Brian Kleisner of Kingsford. Oh, not down yet. Now he is. Kyle Smock, one of the first ones downfield, slowed it down the process a bit, and we've got a discussion here. Mr. Kleisner trying to be pulled away, and the flag is down, and I'm not sure what we're going to get out of this quite yet. Personal foul on the East.
Yep. Well, he I think he took exception to the hit, quite honestly, with the two guys coming down, and got up and said a few words, and unfortunately the stripes are right near him when he did that. And you know, this is just maddening right now for the coaching staff of the West. You get in okay position, you got the ball back, and all of a sudden back and back you go on, again, these these errors and these penalties that really shouldn't be happening.
The quarterback for the East this time is Logan Chatty of Lakeland and Hubble. Brad Anderson of Calumet, one of the running backs. Jeff Eau Claire of West Iron County, the other. And Eau Claire with a little bit of a hole. Burrows his way, for the best verb I can think of offhand, to about the 17, 18-yard line.
Yeah, and you always worry when you get those twisting, spinning tackles on this turf. Well, not only that, you worry about knees and ankles and everything else here when the players are getting spun around like that. And anytime you see a player, the upper body turns and the lower body doesn't, you just kind of hold your breath and hope that they get up in one piece.
So 2nd and about 6 for the West. Chatty over center, hands to Anderson, and bang, he's done. Say hello to Earl Lancourt of Rapid River, and Earl took care of business.
Well, Lancourt's had a couple of really good plays like that here in the ball game, and again, it's just a matter of winning the battle on the line. And he got through. He found himself a little bit of a seam, and before you know it, you're in the backfield and making a great play. It's two sides. There's two elements to that. You got to get first, through the line first. Then you got to be able to make the tackle, and Lancourt's been able to do both here today.
Baraga's Tyler Magaha brings in the play as they juggle receivers on the western side with the plays. 3rd and 19 on the 13-yard line. East shifting players on the defensive line, and a bootleg for Chatty. He's got time. He lofts it up there. Magaha's there. The coverage is there as well. I believe that is Tyler Hansen of Bark River Harris. Yes, it is. Makes the play, and that will force 4th down.
You know, we've been talking about Lancourt there from Rapid River, and you couldn't see this on your screen because the camera's following the ball, but Chatty got absolutely planted by Lancourt right as he let that ball go, and he was looking at the rafters in a split second after the release of that football.
Colin Alsgog back to punt. Ewan Trout Creek punter. Again, Kyle Jensen of Gladstone, guard Kangas and Manistee back about a little over the 40-yard line. And Jensen with the fair catch at the 43. So the East will take over. 2:26 to go in the 3rd quarter, leading 14-6. You're watching the UP Football All-Star Game right here on TV6. Welcome back. 2:26 to go in the 3rd quarter. Josh Mickelson, now the quarterback for the East from Manistee. He has 2 St. Ignace players in the backfield. Rob Robinson is the one that gets the handoff, and the West stuffs it. Nelson Winky of Kingsford, one of those in on the tackle. So is number 30, Dan Perro of Lons, who will play his college football at Michigan Tech.
If you're one of these people that doesn't buy how important field position is in this game, take a look at how this quarter has gone so far.
This field has been slanted.
Yeah, absolutely. It completely changes the West's offensive possibilities when you're buried deep in their end zone. It gives the East now with the football in great field position all different types of options. Paul Jacobson, Mark Morano, those guys can open it up.
Play action here. That's why I'm not coaching. The pitch to Kyle Smock of St. Ignace and nowhere to go. 58, Adam Kent of Iron Mountain again. Nice job from his interior position, getting outside to make the tackle.
Yeah, the West really right now, Mike, in my mind, really needs a turnover more than anything else, because if the East doesn't get anything here, they punt again, they're back down around the 10, 15-yard line. Worst case scenario for the East, it goes in the end zone and you're back at the 20-yard line. If you're the West, to really get something going here, get this momentum change, you got to get the football here when it's out at the 40, 45-yard line.
Kent, another UP player who will continue his career at Michigan Tech. 3rd and 10 on the 43. Guard Kangas and Manistee, the receiver on the near side. Out of the spread, Mickelson the snap. He's looking for Kangas, a pump fake, but Franchini doesn't buy it. But Kangas with the height advantage pulls it. Oh, not quite, not quite. Ball landed on the turf around the 6-yard line. He had that one corralled, just couldn't hang on to it when he landed on the turf.
You think these guys want to win this game?
I knew that play was coming.
Wow.
I just called it at the wrong series.
Boy, I tell you, he lofted for that ball and was just a little off balance. Other than that, he hauls that in. has, again, is a decided height advantage over the defensive player there. And it's going to be interesting to see what Paul Jacobson does. I believe they're going to kick the ball
looks
away.
like they're going to kick.
You know, it is a game of field position, and you'll keep the momentum going if you can pin this West team back again.
It's only an 8-point lead, so a touchdown with a 2-point conversion ties it. So make them go extra yardage to get it. Marquette's Dan Menzie back to punt, gets the snap, no rush. It's an all-star game. He's aiming for the sideline. Nice catch by Ryan Kleisner of Kingsford, makes a couple yards and a couple more.
And a couple more.
And he gets out near the 20-yard line. That's a nice effort by Kleisner with not a whole lot of room to run.
Well, the nice kick there by Menzie, because what it does is it adds a defender to the play by kicking it over to the sideline. And Kleisner somehow got through the first wave. That's always the key as a kick returner. He got through the first wave. You know, he fielded that ball, what, around the 8 or so?
Yes.
And now he's out across the 15-yard line. So that's a big, big difference right there between being truly in the shadow of your own goalpost and out near the 20-yard line.
We'll call it the 21. Looks like Pat Flood of Iron Mountain will come out and be the quarterback for this series for the West.
Good to see that, too, because he was really shaken up earlier when he got swarmed under back around his own 5-yard line.
There goes Tyler Magaha on the far side of the screen at one receiver. Corey Runset of Iron Mountain, the other receiver. Another sneak by Flood. And wow. Must be nice to get about 7-8 yards on a quarterback sneak.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's been one of the plays that's truly been effective for the West offensively. They've not been able to put together a lot of sustained offensive pressure here, but that play in particular has done pretty well from them. Clock's still ticking, however, down to about 9 seconds to go. I don't know if we're getting another playoff or not.
Yes, we will be done with quarter number 3. The East still keeps the lead at 14-6. We'll be back with the fourth quarter. You're watching the UP Football All-Star Game right here on TV6. Welcome back to the fourth quarter. Pat Flood of the West throwing to his Mountaineer teammate, Corey Runsat, and that is going to be good for a first down. It was 2nd and 2 on the 29. So that gets a first down on about the 40-yard line.
Well, there's that little area between the deep back and the corner, and he didn't have to get downfield very far, which is part of the advantage there. And he didn't need to get much. It was 2nd down and 2, so he's downfield about 4 or 5 yards, and that's an easy pitch and catch.
Have a little problem with the clock. It's going to take a couple seconds to fix it. Wasn't quite reset to start the fourth quarter.
Well, now they've got it at 14 minutes.
New length of quarter.
Gotcha.
Don't forget, you can always join Buck Lavasser for Discovering Mondays right here on TV6 at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central Time, Upper Michigan Source. Okay, and I've got it up to 14:45.
That's about right, don't you think?
That was a short play. Let's add a few more seconds.
No, I got a 6:30 tee time. Let's make it a.
You would. All right, Pat Flood, Iron Mountain, the quarterback on the 40. Another sneak.
There he goes.
My goodness gracious. Dylan Menard of Negaunee slowed him down, or else that's a 60-yard touchdown.
Well, the other side of that coin, and what it does too, is now it forces the East defensively to move a linebacker into that spot. And it opens things up in the passing game a little bit more. Now, if you have to take that linebacker out of the play, or worst case scenario, move 2 of them up so that you're filling those gaps right there with linebackers, now you're leaving your defensive backs one-on-one coverage. This is going to be interesting to see how Scott Body plays this.
Clock running, under 14:30 to go in the fourth quarter. Hand off to the fullback, and that doesn't get much as Mitch Pender is tackled a shade behind the line of scrimmage.
That's Plimpton, the big kid out of Rapid River, big number 71, and he stuffed that play perfectly and shook off his man over there on the right side of the defensive line and forced the issue and made the play.
Bringing up 2nd and 10 from midfield. 14-6, the East has the lead. We're under 14 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Tyler Magaha, Berga at the top of the screen. Corey Runset of Iron Mountain at the bottom of the screen. Jeff LeClaire, Western County, the fullback, with Jake Menegini of Norway in the tailback. And Flood rolls, looking for Runsat. And just a hair short. Coverage by number 11, Tyler Wallen of Sault Ste. Marie.
One thing we are seeing, however, though, with the West offensive, Mike, their receivers are getting open. where in the first half that wasn't so much the case. I don't know if the East is backing off a little bit, trying not to give up the home run, but these receivers are getting open, in particular on the shorter routes.
Bringing up 3rd and 10. Everybody's got the signal straight now for the West. Flood pitch, another halfback option pass. Menegini looking, throwing, double coverage. And Dylan Menard and Tyler Wallen are there to break up the pass intended for Corey Runsack.
Now, I don't know if you could hear that at home or not, but the East sideline was screaming the entire time that play was being lined up. Watch the pass, watch the pass, watch the pass. And sure enough, Menegini with the effort here. And the defense did finally close on that, but they had the receiver open for a long time on that play.
No gambling here by Scott Body on the West. Colin Alskog is there for Ewan-Trail Creek and the punt.
Well, one good turn deserved another here, but West has been pinned back offensively. Now they're out towards midfield. It's their opportunity to try and win the field position battle if they can pin the East back here.
Alskog, nice boot. Guard Kangas, a quick catch and a quick tackle by number 52. Looks like in red, that would be Cole Welch of Kingsford.
And here you go, field position. Now it's up to the East All-Stars to move out of this position. The West was in this position up until most of the third quarter, and now it's the East turn with their back against their own goal line. We'll see how they respond.
Don't forget, we're covering the Wimbledon tennis tournament here on TV6 and all next week. Don't miss it, right here on TV6, Upper Michigan's source. So first and 10 for the East on the 18-yard line. And we'll see who comes out at quarterback for this series. And it will be Kyle Jensen of Gladstone. Bottom of the screen, 33. That's Luke Murray of Cedarville, one wide receiver. Derek Hort of Sault Ste. Marie is the running back next to Jensen. Looks like guard Kangas of Manistee, the receiver on the far side. And a handoff to Hort. He has a little bit of room. And he is brought down near the 20. Tim Obradovich, one tackler, 58, another one in there, and that's Adam Kent of Iron Mountain. Gee, we see these Iron Mountain names a lot, don't we? And with good reason.
Well, yeah, there's a pretty good reason for that. They've got this funny little thing there called tradition.
It's been known to happen.
Yeah, it's been known to happen. But did you notice on that play, Mike, just how many red jerseys were there?
There was a hole, but again, it closed up very quickly.
Yeah, and there was very little blocking out there. It's almost like they slant blocked to the right, opened up the hole to the left, but the defensive players didn't go with the blocking scheme. So he got to a hole, but there were 4 red jerseys there to meet him.
Derek Dake of Newberry, the receiver at the bottom of the screen. 2nd and 8 from the 20. Jensen fakes. He has a little bit of a hole, and he's going to get about 2 yards. I see 21. That's Dallas Saubert of Wakefield Marinisco, one of the tacklers. Mr. Kent's nodding his head again, so he must have been nearby.
And the East basically ran the same play 2 plays in a row. It's the quarterback's option whether or not he's going to give to the running back or take off to his right, and they've tried both options in that play. Still 3rd down and reasonably tough here. 3rd down at your own 22-yard line. You got to be careful here.
I continue to be impressed by the West defensive line. They've done a very nice job containing the East running attack. Out of the spread, Jensen, 3rd and 6 and 22. Same option play, finds a hole over the 25, but he will not get the first down as he barely gets over the 25-yard line. 25 in on the play for the West. That's Reese Anderson of Hancock. Nelson Winkie of Kingsford also in the area. That will force 4th down.
And this is how you win football games. Even though you're trailing 14-6, you won the field position battle right there. Menzies going to have to kick this ball. He'll be at about his own 15 when he lets this one go. And unless he gets off an absolute bomb or gets a great roll off the bounce, you're going to talk about near midfield, more than likely, or outside their own 40 here for the West All-Stars.
And Ryan Kleisner will make the catch. No time to fake the reverse. Kleisner with a couple of good moves gets the ball at the 50-yard line, just like you said. And there goes a flag.
Yeah, it's a late hit on the
what did you see, Mark?
East. Someone came in late. I think it was Chanella for Ishpeming, who it was a momentum play. It's unfortunate for Chanella, but if it was him, they're going to call that every time. He got to the pile late. He was running full steam, and he was leaning in.
And, no, the penalty's the other way, Mark.
Boy, I thought for sure they had hit Chanella with a late hit on that one.
He's a nice guy, though. He wouldn't do that.
That's a surprising call from here, but hey, play the game, right, babe?
But that's another big momentum change. We're saying
again,
15 yards one way, it's 15 yards the other.
Unless, they may have said the East player was blocked into the pile late. There's another option there, too. I don't know what they're calling exactly, but what they saw. But again, we've seen this a handful of times from the West. How many personal fouls have really put them in a bad position?
Marcus Smithson of Forest Park over the ball. Quarterback is Logan Chatty of Lakeland and Hubble. He hands to Jeff LeClaire of West Iron County, who is still moving his legs, but he doesn't have any red shirts to help him, and it's white shirts that bring him down. Jake Dalt of Ishpeming in the neighborhood.
Plimpton once again from Rapid River, big number 71.
Rapid River linemen have impressed both of us.
Yeah, these are big kids, and they're getting to the ball. And you have a sense of purpose when you're on the line, and anytime you can sniff out the ball carrier, that's going to be your number one thing, is to get to him. And Plimpton's done that a couple of times here and really hurt the running game here of the West.
So 2nd and 10 on the 35. Tyler Magaha of Berga, the receiver on the near side, our side of the field. Handoff, fake, Chatty still has it. And he is brought down by Dustin Demers of Manistee.
And that could have easily been a face mask on the quarterback, too, as he got his fist out there right up into the top of the grill of the defender. But the flags will stay in the pockets now and again. It brings up 3rd down and very, very long here, 3rd and just over 10.
Chatty is doing a fine job faking the football. There's one problem. East hasn't fallen for it.
Well, he's getting out there. The problem is not only are they're chasing him down, but his receivers again have long routes when he breaks out of the backfield like that, and it's tough to time those out right.
Wide receivers both on the far side of the field. Chatty looking to throw, wobbles out there, and it's going to be caught by Tyler Verregan, I believe. Yes, it is. The North Central product makes the catch, and good for a 1st down on about the 48-yard line of the East.
Well, the defender somehow lost the receiver. I think the defender may have found the ball in the air, but lost the receiver behind him. And just a terrific toss, a terrific catch. And this is what Scott Body and the West want right now. You're inside the East territory. Clock is spinning. It's time to start thinking a little bit about the clock with under 8:50 to go here in the 4th quarter, and you're down by 8.
Chatty over center, turns. This time he does give it to Anderson, and there's Dustin Demers again. Guard Kangas is not the only fast person from Manistee. It seems that way, but Demers is not exactly what you call slow.
Well, neither's Mickelson. We could go on and on and on about what Todd Kangas has had down there as the head coach of that program for a good number of years. But, when this is all said and done, and we take a look back at this ball game, Mike, I think, there's a lot of people going to walk away from this wanting next year's game to get here. Last year was a pretty lopsided affair. This one's been a great football game just to watch.
2nd and 12 at midfield. Chatty going back to pass, and he's getting rushed big time. Screen, Meningini makes the catch, and Jake Dold of Ishpeming is right there waiting for him, and so is 71 Justin Plimpton.
And again, they ran that screenplay pretty well, but ran it to the short side of the field.
Let's go down to TV6's Mike Bedard.
Hey guys, we have the architect of the UP Football All-Star Game right here, Todd Golbeck. And Todd, 2nd year seems pretty like another success.
It's been great so far. I mean, the whole entire week has been a great success. The kids have had a lot of fun. This is the best. This is great.
For you and your helpers putting something on like this, how's it been the 2nd time around?
A lot easier. Obviously, all the logistics of the game and everything went a lot better this year. We did add a bunch of new stuff, so, of course, we were still pretty busy. But as far as the game went, everything went a lot smoother.
All right, thanks a lot, Todd. Appreciate it. That's Todd Golbeck from XL Sports Training. He helps run this thing, helps put it on. Really good. That's it from down here, guys. Back up to you.
Tyler Woolen of Sault Ste. Marie picks off the pass on 3rd and 13 to give the East the football on their their 31-yard line. Chatty just a little bit overthrown on the attempt.
Well, we talked about Wolin a lot in the first half, too, this DB from the Sioux, and great position there, and he stayed deep, which it's tough to do. It's hard to avoid that temptation sometimes to curl up and pinch up into the play, and he stayed right in position, and unfortunately for the West, they threw it right to him.
Josh Mickelson of Manistee is the quarterback, Chad Kramanagani the fullback, and Kyle Smock the tailback. He's from St. Ignace, and Kyle has the football, and he makes a nice move through the hole and gets 5 yards to about 36, 37-yard line.
Well, the West sitting there with all 3 of their timeouts, trailing by 8, and you watch right now the East All-Stars here. You talked about this at the outset of the telecast here, Mike, and that is the fact that they are bigger on the offensive line. This is going to be a team that's going to try and play smash-mouth football, and if they can pull that off here down the stretch, they're going to walk out of here with a win, but we're a long way from getting to that point. Yep, the clock is running. They keep it on the ground.
2nd and 5, we'll call it on the 36. Mickelson turns, hands to Smock again, makes one defender miss, gets around the outside, stays. No, he may have stepped out of bounds. I can't tell what the officials are saying right now, but they're going to give it to him about the 47.5-yard line. That's good enough for a first down. Nice effort by the young man who did not get the play this year because of an ACL.
You know, and he comes up holding his helmet, and very fortunate that his head wasn't in it with the way that these guys have been hitting each other here throughout the course of this ball game. Key here for the West, Mike, bend, but you can't break.
No, you can't right now, and I bet they're getting a little bit tired because the possession time in the second half is definitely in favor of the white shirts.
I mean, I'm getting tired just watching them go here, to be honest with you. This has been a great game. I can't say that enough. This has really been entertaining to watch.
Zach Anderlov, Menominee over center. Mickelson turns and hands to Jake Blanchel of Westwood. Flags down. Mark's doing not the Macarena, but the illegal procedure call.
And the Studio 54 is what.
Oh, thank you. 5:47 time on the clock when it stopped. The referees are making the same arm gesture, and it will be 5 yards in the other direction.
I'm not sure if the East had enough guys in the line of scrimmage.
So I'll push him back 5 yards. Kyle Pollard of Ontonagon leaves the field to play as another play is forthcoming. And Mickelson has it. Justin Salzman of Menominee checks out of the lineup. So we will try again at 1st and 15. Luke Murray of Cedarville, the receiver at the bottom of the screen. Guard Kangas Manistee at the top of the screen. Mickelson, quick handoff up the middle to Rob Robinson, I believe. It is, of St. Ignace. And he gets over the 45-yard line. Setting up about, give him the 46, that's fine. Setting up 2nd and about 12 or 11.
If the West is able to get this into a 3rd and long situation, Mike, watch for Scott Body and the West coaching staff to maybe start using some of these timeouts. They have all 3 of them left. We're under 5 minutes to go. The East could potentially pin them pretty deep here, so you're going to want some time on the clock to play with if they don't start getting first downs.
Mickelson back to pass. He's looking deep for Kangas. He's got time. Yes, he makes the catch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown. The East goes deep, and guard Kangas 54 yards from his Manistee Emerald teammate, Josh Mickelson. I've been waiting for that to work. It finally did.
Well, he split the 2 defenders and went right in between them. And a terrific little touch pass. He caught it in full stride, and no stopping him there. And that, my friend, might just about start to do it here. It's a 14-point game.
Josh Mickelson, by the way, will play basketball down at St. Norbert College in De Pere, Wisconsin. The extra point is up by Andrew Figures, and that's very nicely done. A 15-point lead by the East at 21-6. 4:35 to go in the 4th quarter. You're watching the UP All-Star football game right here on TV6. Welcome back to the Superior Dome. The East on a 54-yard touchdown pass from the Manistee duo of Josh Mickelson to guard Kangas helps the East take a 21-6 lead with 4:35 to go in the contest. Dan Menzie will kick the ball off for the East. He's from Marquette. Once again, Mario Franchini of Iron Mountain and Ryan Kleisner of Kingsford Deep for the West. Menzie puts a foot into it, down to the 3-yard line. Franchini takes it, and he gets to about the 20-yard line before he is brought down by a host of people. And I believe Luke Murray of Cedarville was one, and maybe Rob Robinson the same.
Yeah, see, Robinson got there first. He played the perfect angle on that. The ball carrier had what looked to be a pretty good opening here, but he cut him off, had him at a good angle, and just piggybacked him right there at the 21-yard line.
So let's see what is in the West bag of tricks. And Pat Flood of Iron Mountain resumes at the quarterback. 2 receivers spread out. Handoff, no handoff. It doesn't matter because the play is going absolutely nowhere. 50. No, well, let's see. Take your choice. 66, Earl Lancor of Rapid River in the house.
Pretty much the entire right side of the defensive line.
50, Chad Anderson of the Sioux. You name it, they were close by.
No, that was busted from the start.
Yep. It is 2nd down and 10 on the 18-yard line. Back to pass is Flood over the outside. Nice catch by Tyler Magaha of Baraga, and he is down around the 28-yard line.
Well, he just speared it with one hand. Bobbled it for a moment and able to get the second hand out there. It's a tough catch. Unfortunately for the West, however, he did make the catch, but he stayed in bounds, and the clock continues to go.
Coming up on 3.5 minutes to go in the ball game, and the West is going to have to crank it up another gear here if they want to have a good shot at trying to get this victory. It is 3rd and 3 on the 28-yard line. Flood rolls right, throws for Magaha. Oh, nice jump of a pattern by Tyler Wallen of Sault Ste. Marie, his second pick of the day, and the East can just about clinch the victory.
3:09 to go, and we talked about Woolen a lot the first half. He had the pick earlier, and this one puts the East in terrific field position, 44-yard line, as you said, Mike, and up 14. Watch for the East to just pound this one out and run down the clock.
And Wallen helped off the field a little bit. East feeling better now. 2 picks in the game. I feel pretty good about that, too.
He's working his way towards a little bit MVP, perhaps. I mean, he's had a great game.
If we had one, I don't know. He certainly would be a defensive candidate for the East squad. Jumped that pass very well. Okay, into the game for the East at quarterback. C.J. Paucan of Cedarville. Derek Hort of Sault Ste. Marie is the running back next to him. Luke Murray of Cedarville at the bottom of the screen. Guard Kangas of Manistee at the top. Paucan is going to run, looking for a little hole. Just hang on to the football. Gets down to the 40-yard line. Paucan, of course, if you have not heard, the Class D basketball player of the year. He was the offensive player of the year in Class D in football and will be playing basketball at NMU in the near future. He's not a bad runner either. He won the 40.
I'm noticing that. Takes me a while, but I do pick up on this stuff, Mike. You know?
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he'll do just fine.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. You give him a couple picks, give him an open jumper, he'll be fine. 2nd and 6, 2:30 to go in the ball game. Paucan, this time to the other side. That chicken dance time. He's trying to get around. He finally got around Adam Kent, stays in bounds barely. Tackled by Ryan Kleisner of Kingsford, among others.
Ran 25 yards to gain 3 feet. But more importantly for the East, it keeps the clock going here, and Scott Body opting not to burn his timeouts here in a 14-point deficit facing the West.
We're down to 2 minutes to go in the ball game. Be sure to stay tuned for Wimbledon coverage right here on TV6 after today's game. 39-yard line, 3rd and 5. The clock continues to run. And the East is, as you can imagine, in no particular hurry. So we have This time Jake Delangelo of Westwood at the running back next to Paucan. He will hand to Delangelo, who's trying to break out of a tackle. Nice job by Michael Nemi of Berica. If you didn't see our story earlier on TV6, Michael Nemi, on a good day, is about 5'2" and about 150 pounds. Did a nice job stopping the run short of the first down.
Well, Delangelo again, it looked like he was going to be able to lean in there, and just at the last minute had all of his momentum stop. 4th down, and no surprise here, the East going to try and punch this one for 1.5 yards and walk out of here with a little bit of redemption for last year. I know these are completely different kids here, Mike, but the West really pounding on the East last year. And it's nice to see a tighter ball game here, and good to know that we're going to be 1-1 now after 2 years of this game.
4th and 1 on the 35, under 40 seconds to go, and that's from the backside, so it's got to be delay a game. 36 seconds to go. They'll mark it back 5 yards, which is probably the best news the West could get out of this situation.
Yeah, but it does open up that passing game a little bit.
It does. If you're looking for the salt container to rub a little salt into the wound.
Now, all-star games do have a certain humanitarian factor to them most of the time.
I would be surprised if they threw the football here. Paucan waiting the snap, gets it to his left. He cannot turn the corner because 84 Tim Obradovich is there for Iron Mountain and the West. And the West will take over with 27 seconds to go on its 42-yard line.
Well, you're going to see a picket fence of white jerseys probably back around the 35, 40-yard line or a little bit deeper. And the key here, don't let anybody behind you.
That's right.
And the West may just opt for a quick hitter and call it good.
Well, let's see. We have Runstad at the bottom of the screen, Magaha at the top. A quick pattern to Magaha. No, it's your basic. Flood is all. Well, he's avoided 4 players so far. And if it weren't for the tearaway jersey, Chad Anderson of Sioux makes the tackle, or else Flood would have had more running room, and I mean a lot more running room.
Well, he did a great job of turning a loss of 8 into a gain of about 4. And unfortunately for the West here, again, clock spun down to 13 seconds. Scott Body's going to use the first of his 3 available timeouts. But, again, at the end of the game, you see a lot of that. There's a lot of room out there because the DBs and some of the linebackers had dropped way back in coverage. And it was just a matter of time before he either got caught or got free. But he'd been so far back in his own backfield that through all of that even, Mike, it's still only a gain of about 3 yards.
But it was an enjoyable pre-game.
Oh, I enjoyed every minute of it. Get a look at the crowd here today, Mike, and again, good numbers for a beautiful day.
Yes.
I mean, it's 70 degrees, Father's Day weekend. I know this is on tape delay, but it's Father's Day weekend, and a lot of folks opting to take this in, and they really have been treated to a good one.
21-6, the East with the lead. We're down to 13 seconds to go. 2nd and 7 on the 45-yard line. Jeff Sartori of Forest Park will be be in the tight end position on the far side of the screen. Twin receivers down in front of us. That's Corey Runsat and Tyler Magaha. Flood looking to throw, looks for Magaha. He can't pull it in because it looked like Tyler Oya of St. Ignace was there to knock it away.
Yep. That stops the clock here, and again, 8 seconds. You probably see our final play here, Mike.
Good working with you as always, Mr.
This
Evans.
is fun. I mean, I could either be home cutting the grass or here watching football. You tell me. I'm not going to go cut your grass, so I might as well be here.
Mine isn't worth cutting.
And you know what this does, don't you?
Not yet. Evens the series at 1.
It gets you almost wanting summer to be over, so it's high school football season.
Yeah, we haven't even had summer, though. That's the
Almost.
problem. Flood looking deep, and Meneghini cannot run under it. We're down to 2 seconds to go. Dylan Menard, deep of Nagani for the East. Number 12 also back there. Brad Waters of Ishpeming. Doggone Mid-Penn Conference meeting back there. So should be the last play of the game. As Flood goes behind center. And double pass. Magaha makes the catch. He's going deep. He's got run set open.
He threw him a dart,
quite.
too. Boy.
Hey, Magaha's done that a few times, too, and that's your ball game. The East victorious over the West by the score of 21-6. As the East celebrates the victory, they get ready to shake hands. We'll come back. You've watched the UP All-Star football game here on TV6. The trophy being presented to the East All-Stars for their victory over the West in the UP Football All-Star game by the score of 21-6. And Mark, this game in a way turned out the way I kind of thought it would. After a while, the East offensive line started getting a few more blocks, and they had a few more yards on the run, and that paved the way to the victory along with a couple big plays.
It took a little while to get there, but I agree with the running game as far as East was concerned. What really hurt the West in this ball game, quite honestly, and I know that they're going to look back at this, kind of scratch their heads, but 3 really key penalties, quite honestly. All of them really hurting field position or giving the East some significant field position. It's unfortunate when that happens, but bottom line in this, a great game to watch. It was entertaining. It's always great to be on the broadcast side of things, but when you sit back and think to just what we watched and how competitive it was as compared to a year ago when the West just blew the East right out of this building, just a lot of fun to be around. And, for a lot of these guys, we got a chance to see them the last time they're ever going to strap the pads on. Some of these kids are going to go play D2, D3, where have you, but most of them they're done.
Let's go down to the field.
For this event, last year was great. This year's game was great. What I want to do is
invite everybody to come right out here. Invite all the fans to come right out here.
okay. Fans, come on out. Just come out on the field. There's the real all-stars, guys, the moms and dads. Okay, the West team, offensive MVP, Pat Flood, Iron Mountain. Nice job, Pat. Defensive MVP, Tim Obredovich, Iron Mountain. Job, Tim. And the character award for today's game is Jim Wheeler, Forest Park. Okay, East. Offensive MVP is Kyle Jensen, Gladstone. Job, Kyle. Defensive MVP, Dustin DeMars, Manistee. Well done, Dustin. Character award, Justin Salzman, Menominee.
I'd like to thank everybody for their support, and at this time, I'd like to present a game ball that was signed by all the West players to Coach Body. I'd also like to present an East game ball to Coach Jacobson. Stay right here. And now the 2009 UP Football All-Star Game champions, the East team.
The trophy
Thanks
presentation
everybody
to
for
the
coming.
East All-Stars
Next year, the game
on their
is
21-6 victory over the West. And Mark, a couple final thoughts here.
Fun. I'm glad they're doing this again, and as they said down in the field, I mean, you see the real all-stars right there, the parents, the families, the girlfriends, the whole bit. You know, football really is a family sport. We don't think about it that way from when we're watching Friday Night Fever or what have you, but, you know, everybody down there really the all-star, and already in my mind looking forward to the fall so we can kind of get an idea of who we're going to see out on the new turf here at the Dome next year.
That's right. This turf is going, and soon to be gone. And NMU will have a new surface for this upcoming season. Again, we'd like to thank our sponsors, brought to you by TV6, XL Sports, and our platinum sponsor, Northern Michigan Bank. Lots of people on the crew working on a weekend to make this possible. We thank all of you. I know Denise Locola in charge in the truck directing. Scott Zerbel is our producer. And lots of good help from our cameraman, Mike Bedard on the sidelines, and many more. Thank you for joining us. 21-6, the East with the victory in the UP Football All-Star Game. I'm Mike Ludlum, along with Mark Evans, wishing you a good weekend.